Yo, what in the world going on? What is going on in the world of hip hop? So, hey man, I think Tony Buzbee might have jumped up the wrong tree this time. I told y'all one and only what it is. Crazy, right? We just was talking about how we ain't heard no big names, and I don't think we still have. You know, I think this lawsuit just as frivolous as the last ones. But I think this time, Tony Buzbee then he just struck a chord now. The Jay-Z legal team vows to destroy Tony Buzbee for this bullshit. I've been telling y'all, man. So I got the whole lawsuit. I think it's the same lawsuit that was filed before with the 13-year-old. But we can read it again just because it was that bogus. Y'all remember the lawsuit, right? With the 13-year-old poster got dropped off at the BET Awards and MTV Awards. Yeah, that one. Hold up, yo. Yeah, so I think this is a continuance of that. So now she just added another name. Like Tony Buzbee is a terrible human being, yo. Terrible. It looked like to me they used him to take down black men. They did it to Deshaun Watson first. When Deshaun Watson decided to leave the Houston Texans, they sick Tony Buzbee on him. And now you got all these women from all these massage parlors talking about he did this, that, and the third. Now he coming at Diddy. And y'all remember, right? When he announced them lawsuits. See, that's the thing, y'all. We've been consistent the whole time. Like, we haven't been one of them pages that been flip-flopping on the whole situation. But remember I told y'all, I said, yo, what if y'all find out, right? You know, because everybody at that time was like, yo, it's 120 people. I said, yo, he didn't even file them lawsuits. Right. You talking about, Watson. I said, yo, he didn't even file them lawsuits. So I said, yo, what if y'all find out of the 120 lawsuits, he only filed 5. To date, Tony Buzbee haven't even filed 10 lawsuits, but told the world that he had 3,000 people reaching out to him about Diddy. Like, yo, this is disgusting work, yo. How can you sleep at night? Knowing your job is to just shake people down with frivolous allegations. So before I get to the lawsuit, we're gonna read what Jay-Z lawyer had to say. Yeah, it's a money grab. But you know, right now it's gonna be some blogs. I told y'all it was coming. Those are the blogs that's with the play. They with the play. They not in the truth telling or none of that. They just with the play. Whatever the play is, they with it. You know? That's why you have people coming over here arguing with us and we telling the truth. Those motherfuckers lying. But since a lot of times we be standing alone, it's too late to backtrack now. The Rock Nation Sharks on the way. The Rock Nation Sharks is on the way. You heard me? So this is what Diddy, not Diddy. Dang, I might have to make this shit huge. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can find a better one. Can y'all see that? Yeah, y'all. But the only way they can destroy him is when you got black people that's with the play. That's why I be telling y'all, these guys got to go. They got to go. You got to remove them motherfuckers that's with the play. If you ain't telling the truth, we don't want to hear from you. We don't want to hear from you. Now remember when the Diddy news first broke, we was getting 1,500 people on this bitch. I wonder what happened. Wonder what changed. The message ain't changed. You know, we still carrying it the same way. I wonder what happened. All right, so my lawyer received a white mail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Buzbee. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. Yay, shorty. Fuck wrong with her. Jay-Z ain't with that shit. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint. Straight up. Straight up. Fuck wrong with her. Not a civil one. Whomever will commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Buzbee. Man, that's what we've been saying the whole time, man. He a piece of shit, man. But I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family, my wife, and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It's unfair to have to try to understand what's the fuck that word? Inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirits. My heart and support goes out to the true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in a costume for profitability, but this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Yo, Jay-Z probably really wrote this. You have made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not in your world. Damn. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these type of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake psychics, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me, that, if not for the seriousness surrounding the harm of kids, would be laughable. Man, straight up, Jay-Z, man. Straight the fuck up, y'all. And I've been telling y'all this shit from the beginning. From the beginning. I've been telling y'all, man. This guy is bullshit. Those lawsuits is nonsense. Nonsense. Damn every single one of them. So let's get to the lawsuit. Let's get to the lawsuit. Now look, if you was over here talking nonsense, we'd have 15,000 people on this bitch. But since we over here speaking truth, introduction, Defendant Combs and all his other names, along with longtime friend and collaborator Sean Carter. Hey yo, hell no. Drugged and art a 13-year-old girl at an after party following the 2000 Video Music Awards. Another celebrity stood by and watched as Combs and Carter. See, here, look at the bullshit. Why they don't name the other celebrity? You naming Jay-Z and Diddy, and you ain't gonna name the other celebrity. Like, yo, that's what I'm saying, yo. With these claims, yo, all you gotta use is common sense. But it's like, yo, people like lies, you know. They never admit it, but people like to be lied to. Yo, common sense will say, if you're gonna throw Diddy name in this, you throw Jay-Z name in this, but you protecting somebody else. You protecting somebody else. You just do the biggest names in hip-hop in a wild-ass lawsuit, but you're gonna protect somebody else. Man, get the fuck out of it. That shit doesn't make logical sense, y'all. I've been telling y'all that the whole time. Man, share the live, hit the like button, y'all. I'm telling y'all that the whole time, day one. No, you cannot get a congratulations for that. You will never get a congratulations for that. Not over here. But another celebrity stood by and watched as Combs and Carter took turns assaulting the minor. Many others were present at the after party, but did nothing to stop the assault. Combs has been allowed for years to conduct himself in this manner without any consequences. He believes he is above the law. He is not. His close friend Sean Carter has been with Combs during many such instances described herein. God damn. So they just saying these motherfuckers are they serve you with it. Man, hell no, Jay-Z ain't standing for this. You ain't read what Jay-Z just said? They ready to put Tony Buzbee out of business. They ready to put Tony Buzbee out of business. Why? Both perpetrators must face justice. For decades, defendant Combs abused and did all these other things, coerced women, minors, and others for sexual gratification. To assert dominance and to conceal his abhorrent conduct, he accomplished these acts by and through a criminal enterprise. We already know all of that. We already know all of that. We read all of that before. We read all of this before. Listen to this shit. All right, look. Listen to this, y'all. Can y'all see this? Combs particularly fancied the use of the popular date rape drug Rufinol, or GBH, to commit heinous non-consensual acts of sexual violence and awe into countless victims. Combs often would secretly use the drug in an alcoholic beverage served at his parties. Partygoers were forced to consume the alcoholic beverages. Yo, but in every lawsuit, nobody was forced to do anything containing GHB, either prior to entering or while at Combs' party. There are also allegations of Combs dousing victims in lotion or similar body oils, also laced with GHB, so that the drug would be absorbed through the victim's skin and make it easier to assault him or her. Further, it is well known that Combs had a practice of lacing water bottles with other substances such as Xanax and distributing them at his parties. Combs' recurrent and pervasive physical abuse took place for multiple decades. His tendencies of violence and sexual assault were well known amongst his colleagues. All right, we already know all that. We read all that. So let's get to this shit. So these are the lawsuits that they've been filing. A whole bunch of bullshit. All the lawsuits. Tony Buzbee is a horrible person, man. Horrible person, y'all. Like, I don't know how he sleep at night. For real. All right, okay. So here, let's see what he said about Defendant Carter. Defendant Carter is like Combs, a wildly successful rapper and businessman. Carter and Combs have a long history together. Carter met and began collaborating musically with Combs in the 1990s. Combs and Carter rose together to the very top of the hip hop industry in terms of fame and influence by the end of that decade. Combs and Carter were simply were not simply occasional collaborators in the music industry. The two men developed a close relationship, friendship, that has been well documented from the late 1990s to the present. Together, they attended countless music industry events for each other's business ventures, parties, and after parties. Indeed, the two are apparently so close that Combs stated in 2023 that Carter is the only person other than Combs' mother who is allowed to call him by his legal first name of Sean. In 2000, near the height of their career, power, and influence, Combs and Carter attended the 2000 Video Music Awards in New York City. Afterwards, Combs hosted an after party for many of his most famous celebrities in the music and entertainment industries, including, including Carter, which is where the events alleged in this complaint occurred. Yo, this guy is a fucking piece of shit. Somebody needs to slap the taste out of his mouth. Yeah, man. They don't want to know all that shit nonsense. It's all nonsense. But blogs ran with it, because they don't give a fuck. Like, they don't give a fuck about tarnishing a man's name. And so they ran with it. Nobody uses common sense. What is this? Parties. Jane Doe is a female who resides in Alabama. Defendant Combs is a male who, on information and belief, resides in New York City through incarceration in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. On information and belief, at all relevant times, Combs owned and or controlled Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings, Bad Boy Production Holdings, and whatever else. Let's get to this shit, man. Yo, we read all this already, y'all. That's why we shifted through this. We read every Diddy lawsuit, and I'm here to tell you they all sound garbage. All sound garbage. Defendant Sean Carter is a male who, on information and belief, maintains residence in both New York and Los Angeles. Defendant Carter is more commonly known by his industry name of Jay-Z. Carter was identified in plaintiff's original complaint as Celebrity A. Prior to filing of this amended complaint, Carter received a letter from plaintiff's counsel requesting a mediation to resolve this matter. Upon present information and belief, Jay-Z responded to said letter by not only filing an utterly frivolous lawsuit, but also orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against plaintiff lawyers, their families. Hey, yo, now he playing victim. Yo, get the fuck out of here. Yo, this nigga Tony Buzbee is crazy. He playing victim now. Like, yo, how he gonna say that Diddy fired back with allegations and threats of harassment? And, nigga, that's what the fuck you doing. Let me close this door real quick, y'all. This dog gonna keep barking. Hey, Sean, you ain't feed the dogs? Sean! Sean! Hey, yo. Tony Buzbee, a wild motherfucker. Boy, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you new. No, he ain't, man. Oh, he ain't, Big Worm. Hey, yo, hey, Cindy. Yo, y'all believe this nonsense? Y'all must be new here. Yo, if you believe that Diddy did these things, subscribe to the channel, please. Because obviously you're following the wrong bloggers. They're lying to you. They're selling you a dream because, people who share it, they can get a lot of views off of it. They're not interested in telling you the truth. So if you believe that Diddy did all of this, make sure you subscribe to the channel because you're being misled. You're being misled. All right, so employees and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z herein. This effort was meant to scare plaintiff and to discredit her counsel. That effort failed. Indeed, plaintiff chose to file this amendment as a result of the egregious conduct perpetuated by Carter. Each of Combs' corporations, A, aided and abetted Combs in committing the unlawful sexual violence against plaintiff described herein. After alter egos for Combs, completely dominated by him, and used his personal interest into engage in wrongdoing which harmed plaintiff and others, N or C, serve or have served as vehicles for Combs to move, dispose of, or insulate his assets, including in connection with criminal activities, and to avoid compensating the victims of many crimes, including plaintiff. All right, so let's get to what the fuck she's saying. All right, here go the factual allegations, y'all. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready for the factual allegations of this case? Jaguar Wright is a fucking liar. Yo, what are y'all talking about? Yo, Jaguar Wright is a fucking mental case. Yo, y'all are following the wrong blogs, man. Literally. Subscribe to the channel. I read every single lawsuit. So if you wanna catch up and wanna really know what's going on, like we don't paraphrase over here. We read the whole lawsuit. That's why I'm skimming through all of that stuff, because we already read that in other lawsuits. Probably the first one I read. Jaguar Wright is a disgruntled employee. Jaguar Wright is one of the girls that participated in quid pro quo. She participated, but her career didn't pan out the way she wanted it to pan out. So you know what she did? She started lying. She started making up shit. That was her way of getting back, because her career failed. That's why she go after Beyonce. That's why she got so much to say about J-Lo. Because those are the women that was on top when she was breaking through the industry. Those are her contemporaries. And those women are here, and she is here. She's forced to be on interviews lying for views. Lying. Jaguar Wright didn't cause shit. Like, oh, she didn't know Diddy was going to cross this liquor company. That's why Diddy is going through this. She didn't know that. So y'all tell me Jaguar Wright knew Diddy was going to cross the liquor company and they was going to come down on him. Jaguar Wright knew that. Because this is what this is about. This is not about justice for no victims. We talk about a one-man RICO. A one-man RICO on a woman he was in a 10-year relationship with. And the crazy thing about it is, most of y'all that saying that, y'all don't even understand. Y'all don't even know how this is even classified as a RICO. Y'all don't even know how. This is classified as a RICO only because of the organization of it. If Diddy was doing what he was doing with Cassie and it wasn't organized, they wouldn't even be able to charge him with a RICO. They wouldn't even be able to charge him with a RICO. But let's get to the factual allegations. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if y'all support Jaguar Wright, because y'all gonna learn some truth. Excuse me. On or around September 7th, 2000, plaintiff, then 13 years old, had a friend drive and drop her off near Radio City Music Hall in New York City so that she can try to attend the Video Music Awards. Yo, that's not what she said at first. That is not what she said at first. She didn't say try to attend at first. Let me show y'all the first lawsuit. Hold up. Let me show y'all something. She didn't say try and attend last time. Why is it try and attend this time? It's not what she said the first time. Like y'all see, we got all lawsuits. Now it's try and attend. Let me see if she used that word last time. Pretty sure she didn't. Pretty sure she didn't. Damn, yo. Fuck, shit moves so fast for. Hold up, y'all. We trying to find what she said last time. Cause I don't believe that's what she said. I don't believe she said try and attend. I believe she said she was getting dropped off and she couldn't get in. Abercrombie and Fish D. Oh, here we go. Diddy 13-year-old. Let's see if that's what she said. You know, wording is everything, man. All right, she did say that. She did say so she can try to attend. All right, bet. Let's make sure we're on the same page. All right, so on or around September 7th, 2000, plaintiff, then 13 years old, had a friend drive and drop her off near Radio City Music Hall in New York City so she could try to attend the Video Music Awards. Attending the VMAs was on plaintiff's bucket list, and she believed she could gain entry. Look, they didn't say that at first. Look what she said last time. Pay attention to the word, and look what she said. Look, he didn't change the whole lawsuit up because you know the first one sounds stupid. Plaintiff arrived at the venue and saw large crowds gathering as artists and entertainers began arriving. Now it was on the bucket list, and she believes she can gain entry. Hey, hold up. Look, y'all see the difference? That was on a bucket list. A 13-year-old thinking she was going to gain entry. Gain entry to the the VMAs without no parent is insanely stupid. It's insanely stupid. Now it was on her bucket list. Okay. We ready to compare the lawsuits. Hold up. Oh, look, now they get back to what now they get back to the lawsuit again. Plaintiff arrived at the venue and saw a large crowd. So look, this is new. He added this in. Attending the VMAs was on plaintiff's bucket list, and she believes she can gain entry. That wasn't in this one. It shot straight to this line. Plaintiff arrived at the venue and saw large crowds gathering as artists and entertainers began arriving. Plaintiff was very excited. As the event began, much of the crowd moved inside, but plaintiff without a ticket remained outside with others and watched the VMAs on a jumbotron. They didn't say. As the event began, the crowd moved inside. All right, but plaintiff without a ticket remained outside. Determined to get in the after party, she approached several limousine drivers, attempted to talk her way into the VMAs. But now she watched on the jumbotron. Determined to get yo, get the fuck out. Yo, somebody, Tony Buzbee need to be, man, he need to be stoned. Determined to get into the VMAs or an after party, she approached several limousine drivers parked nearby and attempted to talk her way into either. She didn't say it last time. Last time she attempted to talk her way into the VMAs. It wasn't to either the VMAs or the after party. Y'all do see that, right? Y'all do see the differences in the writing. Or am I doing it too fast? This is the old lawsuit. This is the new one. Oh, new. One of the limousine drivers she spoke to claimed to work for defendant Combs. The driver told her that Combs liked young girls and said she would fit what Diddy was looking for. And while not allowing her into the awards, the driver invited her to an after party. Didn't say that last time. One of the limousine drivers she spoke to claimed to work for defendant Combs. He told her that Combs liked young girls and said she would fit what Diddy was looking for. All right, she did say that last time. Okay, let's continue. The driver stated that he had to drive Combs and others to the after party first, but instructed plaintiff to return to his location after the event and that he picked her up and takes her to the after party. I know they ain't say that last time. Look, the driver instructed. Look, hold up. Allowing her to awards, but inviting her to an after party. The driver instructed plaintiff to return around 9:30, 10 p.m., promising to take her to the after party. Y'all remember? Do y'all remember? For the people that follow my channel, y'all remember what I said about that? Like, that don't even make sense. Like, she's saying that the limousine driver waited for her, but this is Diddy limousine driver. But Diddy was at the party. So what the fuck? He took Diddy to the party, then came back to get her? That wasn't in the original lawsuit. That's some shit he added in. They watching YouTube videos. They fuck around watch Keep It G News, man. They might be over here watch Keep It G News, because y'all remember them videos did 100-something thousand views. Them videos we did on Diddy was doing 100,000, 80,000, like 150,000. Y'all remember that? Brittany, you would say you remember. We questioned that because it didn't make sense. Like, if this is Diddy driver and he took you to Diddy after party, then how the fuck did he get to the after party? So when he took Diddy there and came back, that was the question that we had last time. Right, you remember? That's the question we had last time. Now, the driver stated that he had to drive Combs and others to the after party, but instructed plaintiff to return to his location after the event and that he picked her up and take her to the after party. What? But instructed plaintiff to return to his location after the event and that he picked her up and take her to the after party. All right. Later that evening, plaintiff excitedly returned to the same location and waited for what seemed like a very long time. Didn't say that last time. Later that evening, plaintiff excitedly returned to the driver, who drove her alone in a black limousine with black interior. Now she waited for a long time. Like, somebody, yo, this shit is terrible, y'all. This is terrible, man. Yo, this is terrible, y'all. And people really over that bitch believe in this shit. That because y'all following the wrong blogs. Right. Exactly, Brittany. The driver eventually returned and drove her to what he described as the after party. Now she waited for what seemed like a long time. In this one, she came back at 9:30, 10 p.m. and she was excited, and I drove alone in a black limousine with black interior. But now she waited for a long time. Okay. After approximately 20 minutes, plaintiff arrived at what she believed to be a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway. All right, so she said that. All right, so he said that in the last one. Once inside, two men asked plaintiff to sign a document, which plaintiff did not read, but which she now believes to have been a non-disclosure agreement. She was told that she could not discuss what happened at the party. She gave the men her name and signed the form, but did not receive a copy. Once inside, two men asked plaintiff to sign a non-disclosure agreement, informing her that she could not disclose. So in this lawsuit, she knew what it was, and I think we questioned that too. Fuck you, 13. You know what a non-disclosure agreement is. Inside the building, plaintiff recognized many celebrities as she entered what appeared to be a large living room or foyer containing a large crowd. Plaintiff attempted to mingle in the crowd and talked to several of the celebrities that she recognized and whom she had wanted to see at the VMAs. I know that wasn't in there. Inside the house, plaintiff recognized many celebrities in what appeared to be a living room. Wait staff carried trays of drinks and loud music played throughout the house. Plaintiff observed widespread drug use, including marijuana and cocaine. Plaintiff accepted a drink, a reddish-yellow mixture that tastes like orange juice, cranberry juice, and something better. So she ain't never mentioned that she talked to all these people. Wait staff circulated through the room, carrying trays of drinks, and loud music played throughout the venue. Plaintiff observed widespread drug use, including marijuana and cocaine. After attempting to talk to numerous celebrities, plaintiff accepted a drink from one of the waitresses circulating the crowd. The drink was a reddish-yellow mixture that tastes like orange juice, cranberry juice, and something bitter. After drinking just a portion of the drink, plaintiff began to feel woozy and lightheaded, making her need to lie down. A photograph of an actual exemplary container used by Combs and his agents employees to insert GHB into alcoholic drinks is seen below. Exemplary, which means some shit that they made up on their own. Because it ain't what he used. It's some shit they made up. All right. Looking for a place to rest, plaintiff walked down what appeared to be a hallway containing several rooms of what? Looking for a place to rest, plaintiff walked down what appeared to be a hallway containing several rooms off of it. She entered what appeared to be an empty bedroom. Let's see what she said in this one. Oh, so she ain't mentioned the hallway containing several rooms. Looking for a place to rest, plaintiff ended what she believed to be an empty bedroom so she could lie down for a moment. Remember we talked about that too. So she just found a random bedroom. I think he watched our video, y'all. I think he watched our video and designed this lawsuit from our video. Cause we questioned that. Like, yo, we talking about a big I say, yo, we talking about a mansion. So it's gonna be a whole bunch of rooms. So what, she just picked any room and just decided, I'm gonna lay here. And who lays down in a house that they don't know? You are a 13-year-old kid. You in a house full of adults. And you just decide, I'm tired. I'm feeling woozy. I'm just gonna go take a nap. Like, yo, why can't people use common sense? Yo, does that make sense to anybody? Anybody. Even a child. But let's continue. Because we the only ones going to tell the truth. Everybody else going to lie. All right. She entered what appeared to be an empty bedroom so she could lie down for a moment. She did not lock the door. The room contained only a large bed with no furniture of any other kind, television or other furnishing. Let's see what she said in the last one. Soon after, Combs entered the room with a male and female celebrity entered the room. All right. Soon after, Combs entered the room along with defendant Carter. Hold up, did she describe the room in the last one? Nope, she ain't even described the room in the last one. She just entered what appeared to be an empty bedroom so she can lie down for a moment. Now, in this lawsuit, she describes the furnishing. Soon after, Combs entered the room along with defendant Carter and a female celebrity B. Plaintiff immediately recognized all three celebrities. Combs aggressively approached plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Yo, this is disgusting work, yo. Combs then threw plaintiff toward a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Oh, I don't remember that. Combs then threw plaintiff toward another male celebrity. So look, on the last lawsuit, it was another male celebrity. On this lawsuit, it was a fucking wall. Hey, yo, how the fuck she confused us? Yo, how the fuck they confused a male celebrity to a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her onto the bed. Combs threw plaintiff toward another male celebrity, celebrity A, who removed plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. Okay. Yo, this is laughable, y'all. It's fucked up because it's real victims that go through shit like this. And they playing with it. They playing with it. And it's even more fucked up that most blogs y'all gonna watch gonna play with it too. Jay-Z was the wall. Hey, Brittany, you funny as shit. You said Jay-Z was the wall. Combs then threw plaintiff toward the wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her onto the bed. That's not what happened last time. What happened last time was Combs threw plaintiff toward another male celebrity, who removed plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. But this time, Combs threw plaintiff toward a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her onto the bed. At that point, Carter began removing plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. Yo, this is sad, yo. Yo, hope Jay-Z sued the socks off of them, man. Plaintiff was held down by Carter as he did what he did, while Combs and Celebrity B watched. Plaintiff was held down by Celebrity A. All right, so that's consistent. Combs then knocked plaintiff down and attempted to force plaintiff to perform oral sex on him. She fought back, standing up quickly and punching out at the same time, hitting Combs in the neck. Taking it back, Combs stopped his attempt. Look, she didn't mention none of that last one. After the male celebrity finished, Combs then vastly awed plaintiff while Celebrity A and Celebrity B watched. Combs attempted to force plaintiff to perform oral sex on him, but she resisted by hitting Combs in the neck. He stopped. All right. Standing up quickly. So standing up quickly is the new part. And punching at the same time. All right. When Combs backed away in surprise, plaintiff grabbed her clothes and shoes and ran out of the bedroom, holding her dress in front of her like a towel. Ho. I don't remember that. Plaintiff grabbed her clothes and shoes and left the bedroom, roaming naked through the house, looking for an exit as the party continued. Yo, first she was naked, now she had a towel on. Like, yo, this is laughable, y'all. She ran around the residence until she found the front door and was able to leave the party. Although there were other guests still at the party, no one appeared to take notice of plaintiff's distress or attempted to help her. Plaintiff grabbed her clothes and shoes and left the bedroom, roaming naked through the house, looking for an exit as plaintiff continued. Once outside, look, she just appeared outside. Plaintiff put her clothes back on and left the scene in the dark. Once outside, plaintiff put her clothes back on and left the scene in the dark. Plaintiff attempted to retrace the route taken by the limo driver. She kept running until she reached the gas station she noticed on the way to the party. Eventually, plaintiff reached the gas station. A female clerk noticed her distress and allowed her to use the phone. Plaintiff called her father, admitted that she had lied about her whereabouts, and asked him to pick her up. Plaintiff attempted to retrace the route taken by the limo driver. She kept running until she reached the gas station she noticed on the way to the party. After the female clerk noticed her distress and allowed her to use the phone, plaintiff called her father, admitted that she had lied about her whereabouts, and asked him to pick her up. Plaintiff's father arrived to pick her up shortly before dawn. Oh, they ain't said nothing about dawn on this one. After the assault, plaintiff fell into a deep depression, which continues to affect every facet of her life. Plaintiff suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder and seizure disorder caused by stress and trauma. Plaintiff has had difficulty maintaining normal relationships and lives largely withdrawn from society. After the assault, plaintiff fell into a deep depression, which continues to affect every facet of her life. That's it. Yo. So for the people that came in here talking about Diddy's a predator, they did it. Jaguar Wright told the truth. Y'all still believe that? And y'all gonna be honest with yourself, or y'all just wanna believe a lie just because it sounds interesting? Like what we doing here, man? Do people want the truth, or do they want to just believe a lie because it sounds interesting? So let's go back to what Jay-Z said. Let's go back to what Jay-Z said. And I think Jay-Z wrote this. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Buzbee. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations, and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. I had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree, Tony? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Buzbee, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family, my wife, and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirits. My heart goes out to the true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I am not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these type of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake psychics, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me that, if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I think they still is laughable, Jay-Z. I think it is laughable. Tony Buzbee is a terrible human being. Him, Jaguar Wright, Jaguar Wright, all the motherfuckers, man. They the people they call when they need to play to be ranked. Look, we gotta play. Somebody crossed the line. Do your shit. That's what they are. They're not real lawsuits. Like I told y'all, man. He said who announces lawsuits before they file them? Like, since when has that been protocol? To announce lawsuits, yeah, and Ben Crump, can't forget Ben Crump. But to announce lawsuits before you file them. So you got Tony Buzbee, who grandstanded and announced 120 lawsuits. Meanwhile, that was 3 months ago. He only filed about 6. And they all sound just like the ones we just read. All frivolous. Some of them even worse. One of them sound like a fucking movie. Go back and look at that, man. One of them lawsuits sound like a movie, man. Talking about Diddy posed an order with the remote control and it was a shootout. Man, it was like, yo, this shit sound like it could be in a fucking Hollywood play. Like, it was insane. Y'all remember that lawsuit? The one that sounded like a movie. Man. That's fucked up, y'all. Y'all want to read it? Y'all want to go back and read it again? Hold up. Hold up. Which one is that? That sounds like a fucking movie. Was it the 13-year-old? Is it this one? Let's see. Let's find the one that sounds like a movie. Oh, no, this ain't it. See, I don't really feel like that shit was a lot of reading, that one, man. Is this one it? No, this what the fuck is this? Oh, this something different. Oh, this ain't even that. This something different, yo. That's a whole different lawsuit. Then 13-year-old. Yeah, one of them real bad. Here you go. Here you go, right here. This one is insane, y'all. I don't really feel like reading it though, y'all. Forever. Can I make it read it for me? I can make it read it for me.
Puff raped Ashley with remote lawsuit. File. Edit. View. Help. Page 2 of 62. Edit.
Hold up. I'm gonna start it right here.
Sexual abuse. False imprisonment and kidnapping. Point 2. Defendant Diddy has been sued by countless individuals for crimes similar to the ones enumerated in this complaint. Point 3. Defendant Diddy is currently a federal inmate awaiting criminal trial for crimes similar to the ones enumerated in this complaint. Point 4. Defendant KK is an employee of Defendant Diddy, often referred to by Defendant Diddy as his right-hand woman. 5. Defendant Diddy's predatory behavior was constant and was well known by several individuals, including Defendant Diddy's employees, staff, friends, family, and associates. In fact, Defendant Diddy's sons are being sued for engaging in the same type of deviant behavior as their father, as plead in a Los Angeles Superior Court filing. Point 16. Defendant Diddy was able to effectuate his crimes and evade capture and prosecution for his crimes for almost 30 years due to his position of power and influencing the entertainment industry. Defendant Diddy exploited his position and won case number 24 ST CV 08571. Case 3:24 CV 07191, document 1 filed October 15th, 24, page 2 of 62. Page 3 of 6. 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 0 1 1 1 2 1 3 1 4 1 5 1 6 1 7 1 8 1 9 2 0 2 1 2 2 2 3 2 4 2 5 2 6 2 7 2.
Hold the fuck up. I don't even know where the fuck you at. Let me get to the allegations, y'all. The shit is crazy. We're gonna start it down here. Watch, y'all gonna trip off this one. Y'all gonna trip off this one. Right here you go, right here.
Puff raped Ashley with remote lawsuit. Edit. Help. Edit.
I can start it right here.
Plaintiff met defendant Shane in February 2018 after an altercation with another man at a bar, and defendant Shane came to plaintiff's rescue. 27 while outside the bar with friends and other patrons, defendant Shane FaceTime video called defendant Diddy and was showing people defendant Diddy in the video on his phone, attempting to impress the people with his famous friend. 28. Defendant Shane then showed plaintiff defendant Diddy on his video call, which plaintiff ignored, stating she was not impressed by him knowing defendant Diddy because she believed defendant Diddy had something to do with the murder of rapper Tupac Shakur. 29. Visible in the FaceTime call was defendant Diddy and some of his children, including his sons Christian and Quincy. It appeared from the plaintiff's perspective defendant Diddy was having a get-together at his home during the time of the FaceTime call with defendant Shane. 30. Defendant Diddy heard plaintiff's statement and made a remark that plaintiff would pay for her statement regarding Tupac and overall dismissal of defendant Diddy. 31. And on March 23, 2018, defendant Shane invited plaintiff over to his home to assist him with his cancer medications because he stated he was weak and unable to open his medications. Case 3:24, CV 07191, document 1 filed October 15th, 24, page 7 of 62. Page 8 of 62, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1, 9, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, 2, 8, 3, 2. Upon plaintiff's arrival, defendant Shane informed plaintiff that he wanted to give her a ride in his new car. Plaintiff and defendant Shane left his residence for a brief period and then returned.
Remember, they say gonna get her back.
Once they returned, defendant Shane left the door to his apartment partially open and stated that the door was ajar because there was an issue with the door where it couldn't close completely. 34. Defendant Shane was renting an apartment on the lower floor of a home in Orinda, California. 35. Defendant Shane had a separate entrance into his residence that led to the backyard of the home. The home also had a main entrance on Loma Vista Drive. 36. Defendant Shane rented the home from a woman who lived in the upstairs portion of the home and had 2 dogs who resided with her. 37. Plaintiff and defendant Shane then began to watch a movie, and defendant Shane offered her a glass of water, which he retrieved and brought back to plaintiff. 38. Approximately 10 minutes after plaintiff and defendant Shane returned from their drive, defendant Diddy entered defendant Shane's residence. 39. Defendant Diddy entered the home in a grand, ready-to-party manner. His grandiose entrance was so loud that the dogs upstairs began barking. 40. Defendant Diddy did not enter the home through the backyard entrance, but instead through the main entrance. Case 3:24, CV 07191, document 1 filed October 15th, 24, page 8 of 62. Page 9 of 62, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1, 9, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, 2, 8, 4, 1, along with defendant Diddy were his bodyguard. Defendant Doe 1, a woman who plaintiff later identified as defendant KK, another woman small skinny build, early 30s with blonde mid-length hair who plaintiff has still been unable to identify. Jane Doe, defendant Doe 2, who upon information and belief is a friend of defendants Shane and Diddy and defendant Diddy's driver.
The fuck is
Doe
she
3,
reading?
who remained outside and in his vehicle during the duration of plaintiff's assault. 42. Plaintiff believes defendant Shane invited her over to set her up to be assaulted by defendant Diddy because of the statement she made about defendant Diddy a month prior.
Fuck, she get all the way down here.
Upon defendant Diddy's arrival, he immediately began to antagonize the plaintiff, stating that she thought she would never see him in person.
The
Pay for her
payback.
statements about Tupac during the video call, and that defendant Diddy caught plaintiff. 44.
It's ready to get crazy.
Plaintiff was in shock
It's ready
as
to
she
get
never
crazy,
believed
y'all.
that she would ever see or meet defendant Diddy in real life, let alone in the small apartment rented by defendant Shane. 45. Defendant Diddy then began advancing towards where plaintiff was sitting on defendant Shane's bed with a knife and held it to the right side of plaintiff's face and threatened to give her a Glasgow smile.
Damn.
In retaliation for her previous statements on the video call.
Damn.
Case 3:24.
So he said he was gonna give her a Glasgow smile for saying that he for saying to him that he had something to do with Tupac murder.
Case 3:24. CV 07191 document 1 filed October 15th, 24 page 9 of 62. Page 10 of 62, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6,
she's
1,
skipping shit.
7, 1, 8, 1, 9, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, 2, 8, 4, 6. Defendant KK told defendant Diddy that she did not think giving plaintiff a Glasgow smile would be advantageous to their potential clients who they could sell plaintiff for sex to. 47. Defendant KK then made a threat to plaintiff that they could ship her off anywhere in the world and that she would never see her family or anyone she knew ever again. 48. Defendant Shane then partially undressed plaintiff, then defendant Diddy removed the remainder of plaintiff's clothing, removing the knife from her face, and then retrieved a bottle of liquid from a large fanny pack. 49. Defendant Diddy then squirted a bottle of liquid on plaintiff, which placed her in fear that she was being squirted with a chemical substance like acid. Plaintiff soon realized the substance was an oil/lubricant. Plaintiff was squirted with this liquid substance over the entirety of her naked body.
Damn.
50. Defendant KK was then told by defendant Diddy to insert
I told you it's like
what
a
looked
movie.
like a syringe from sterile packaging into plaintiff's vagina. 51. Defendant KK did as told, and then told defendant Diddy that she was unable to use the IUD because it had prematurely been released from its packaging. 52. Defendant Diddy, upset by this, took the syringe from defendant KK and tried inserting it in plaintiff's bed. 53. Defendant KK and Diddy began to argue as defendant KK continued to advise defendant Diddy that since the IUD had been prematurely released from its case 3:24 CV 07191 document 1 filed October 15th, 24 page 10 of 62. Page 11 of 62, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1, 9, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, 2, 8.
So y'all, hold on, if you just coming in. If you just coming in, what the fuck happened? This is one of them wild ass lawsuits.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1, 9, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, 2, 8 packaging. It was no way they could insert it into plaintiff's vagina effectively. After some time, defendant Diddy heeded the advice of defendant KK and removed the syringe from plaintiff's vagina. Defendant KK. 54. Defendants KK and Jane Doe then exited defendant Shane's residence, leaving plaintiff alone with defendants Diddy, Shane, and Does 1 and 2. 55. Defendant Diddy then picked up a television remote that was near plaintiff and violently inserted it into 56. Defendant Diddy, while violently raping the television remote, told plaintiff that her life was in his hands and that if he wanted he could take her and she would never be seen again. 57. The plaintiff began hysterically crying from the threats by defendant Diddy along with the pain of being violent defendant Diddy with the television remote, as well as the lingering pain from the ordeal with the IUD syringe. Insertion. 58. Defendant Diddy then instructed defendant Shane to turn plaintiff on her stomach, seemingly tired of hearing the plaintiff's blood. 59. Defendant Shane then grabbed plaintiff by her abdomen and hips and turned plaintiff on her stomach. Defendant Diddy then instructed defendant Shane to put a pillow over her head because he didn't want to see her face or hear her cries, and instructed Case 3:24, CV 07191, document 1 filed October 15th, 24, page 11 of 62. 21314151617.
Now, y'all, I'm muting it.
21222.
I'm muting certain parts that's too graphic, if y'all noticed that or not.
Puff raped Ashley with remote lawsuit. File. Edit. View. Help. Page 12 of 62. Edit. Markup. Sign a copy. Comment. 175%.
Keep going.
Page 2 of 621234567891011212121212222324252262728. Plaintiff Ashley Parham. Plaintiff files her complaint against defendant Sean Combs, Diddy, Christina Coram, KK, Shane Pierce, Shane, John does 1-3, and Jane Doe, together, defendants, allege as follows. False imprisonment and kidnapping. Point 2.
She's skipping shit. Fuck, you take ours back to the introduction. She skipped hella shit. Hold up, yo. It get crazy, yo. Y'all gotta get to the part where it get crazy. I'm talking about gunshots got fired. Man, it got out of control, man. We seeing the Glasgow smile. Alright. Alright, we stop right here. Alright, this is where we stopped at. Alright.
Puff raped Ashley with remote lawsuit.
No. Wanna get right here.
Puff raped Ashley with
How the fuck do I make a move right here, y'all?
remote lawsuit. File. Edit.
Alright, I'm just gonna finish reading it, y'all. Defendant Shane, as he was told by defendant Diddy to begin R and plaintiff, defendant Diddy then violently R plaintiff after defendant Shane. Defendant Doe 2 then joined defendants Diddy and Shane, taking turn R and the plaintiff. Immediately after defendant Doe 2 R plaintiff, he exited defendant Shane's residence. Defendant Diddy then instructed defendant Doe 1 to also R the plaintiff. Instead of immediately R-ing plaintiff, defendant Doe doused plaintiff with more oil lubricant and then jumped on top of plaintiff naked in oil body, treating plaintiff naked in old body, treating it like a slip and slide, and knocking the wind out of plaintiff due to his enormous size. Defendant Doe 1 then caught himself from sliding over plaintiff's old body and off the bed and then began R-ing the plaintiff. While defendant Doe was R-ing plaintiff, defendant Diddy sat in a chair near the bed and began doing what he was doing, while recording plaintiff R by defendant Doe 1. Another party's phone fell on the bed near plaintiff. Plaintiff then attempted to grab the phone, but it slipped out of her hand and onto the floor due to the oil lubricant that had been doused all over her person by defendant Diddy in Doe 1. Defendant Diddy began laughing at plaintiff's attempt to grab the phone. Throughout this violent gangbanging style R, defendant Diddy made consent belittling remarks to plaintiff, including that he owned her now. Plaintiff's body was becoming more and more limp over the course of the violent art until eventually she had no control over her body, nor could she move her body. When defendant Doe finished armed plaintiff, defendant KK entered the room to examine the condition of plaintiff, who was barely able to move or control her bodily functions. Defendant KK examined plaintiff to see if she needed assistance and was about to give plaintiff an IV fluid. Plaintiff could not be certain if she did or did not receive such intravenous intervention. Defendant KK then opened a different bag, different than the one defendant Diddy removed the oil from, where plaintiff observed several medicine bottles, IV fluid bags, and other unidentifiable powder-like drugs. Defendant KK then removed the pill from one of the medicine bottles and gave it to defendant Diddy. Defendant Diddy then inserted the pill into plaintiff's mouth and down her throat, to where plaintiff had no choice but to ingest the unknown pill. Defendant Diddy, Shane, KK, and Doe 1 then exited the residence to a backyard where they smoked marijuana and cigarettes. Plaintiff remained in almost a lifeless state in defendant Shane's bedroom until she finally regained her bodily functions. Plaintiff then began looking for her clothes in her purse that contained her car keys and cell phone, but could not discover them in a room or anywhere in the apartment. Plaintiff was only able to find a t-shirt on the floor, which she put on to cover her naked body. Plaintiff also observed a black condom wrapper on the floor of the bedroom, which she assumed was used by one of the defendants, most likely defendant Diddy. I was going to say most likely defendant Diddy. Plaintiff then grabbed the knife from the kitchen and hid it to the backyard where the defendant was smoking. Where the defendants were smoking, as that was the only exit to the premises onto the street. Plaintiff concealed the knife on her left side as she exited the apartment to the backyard area. Upon coming to the exit of the home, which led to the backyard, plaintiff was met by defendant Doe 1, who was standing at the door between the residence and the backyard. By the time plaintiff was able to compose herself and come to the backyard, defendant KK was no longer in the backyard but upstairs on a patio balcony with defendant Jane Doe. Defendant Doe 1 allowed plaintiff to walk to the backyard where defendant Shane and Diddy were still smoking. Defendant Doe 1 did not see the knife that plaintiff concealed on her left side, as it was obstructed by the oversized t-shirt plaintiff was wearing. Plaintiff observed defendant Diddy, still partially nude, from the assault, while defendant Shane and Doe 1 had on their clothing. Defendant Shane then left to the upstairs portion of the patio balcony where defendant KK and defendant Jane Doe were already seated. Plaintiff then sat down on a makeshift seat in the backyard with defendant Diddy, noticed her presence, and remarked that he was surprised she was able to walk because he had given her enough drugs to take out a horse. Plaintiff then asked defendant Diddy what he gave her, and he laughed and did not provide a response. Defendant Diddy then made further comments to plaintiff in a jovial, friendly manner, asking her why they hadn't partied together before, because it was so much fun, and he hadn't had any this tight in a while. Defendant Doe 1 then quipped at defendant Diddy that he probably hadn't had any this tight because he used to be having anal he was not used to having anal with women, which defendant Diddy and Doe 1 laughed at. Plaintiff then told defendant Diddy she did not party with him and she did not enjoy partying with him, and that he awed her. Defendant Diddy did not like plaintiff's response to the lighthearted commentary and offered plaintiff money and instructed plaintiff to say that the violent awe was consensual and that plaintiff was a sex worker. Plaintiff became enraged and yelled at defendant Diddy that her awe was not consensual. She was not a sex worker, and she refused to take any money from him and would tell the police that he awed her. Defendant Diddy then told plaintiff no one would ever believe you. She had been awed by him, and if she did tell anyone such, that they would harm her family. Defendant Doe 1 then showed plaintiff his phone, which looked as if it was the outside of plaintiff's estranged sister residence, as she could see her sister sitting on the couch and her sister's spouse on the balcony. It looked as if someone outside the residence streamed this video to defendant Doe 1's phone. That fast, yo. That fast. Like, yo, come on, y'all. Like, yo, do I gotta keep reading? Yo, it gets way worse, y'all. Let me see if I can get this girl to read again.
Puff raped Ashley.
How the fuck she can't read from right here, man? How the fuck do you do that shit? See, I ain't alright. See, I'm not that fuck it. The plaintiff, while rattled by what she was saying on defendant Doe's one phone, was still angry about being gang and was not complying with defendant Diddy's request to take the money being offered to say the art was consensual. Defendant Diddy then called his mother in an effort to further convince plaintiff not to report her assault. Defendant Diddy's mother yelled at plaintiff to not hurt her son. Plaintiff told defendant Diddy's mother that her son had violently argued plaintiff. Defendant Diddy's mother, seemingly unfazed by that statement, then continued her demands for plaintiff to take the money being offered and not report the art to law enforcement. Defendant Diddy then made further threats that he had gotten off from bigger crimes than this and referred to Tupac, again further antagonizing the plaintiff. Defendant Doe 1 then turned to defendant Diddy and pulled his gun on him, asking him to repeat what he said in reference to Tupac. Yeah, I told you it'd get crazy. As the two of them were exchanging words, plaintiff went behind defendant Doe 1, where he seemingly began to protect plaintiff. Now she got protection. Defendant Doe 1 then advanced to defendant Diddy, questioning him over the comments he made about Tupac. During this commotion, a neighbor directly across the street came outside and peered into the backyard and asked what all the commotion was about. Defendant Doe 1 then pointed the gun at the neighbor and instructed him to mind his business and return to his residence now, if I blow a hole in you. Defendant Doe 1 then turned the gun back on defendant Diddy. Plaintiff, not far behind defendant Doe 1, tried to grab defendant Doe's hand that had the gun. The gun then went off and hit a hill behind defendant Shane's residence. Defendant Diddy then ran up and back down. Hold up, yo. Defendant Diddy then ran up the back stone stairs near the hill in the backyard toward where defendants KK, Shane, and Jane Doe were. Plaintiff charged toward defendant Diddy, moving the concealed knife from my left hand to the right hand. Hold up. Plaintiff charged toward defendant Diddy, moving the concealed knife from my left hand to her right hand in pursuit of defendant Diddy. So now she's chasing him with a knife. Plaintiff then pushed defendant Diddy from behind while he was on the stone stairs outside, causing him to fall with his back to plaintiff. Plaintiff then raised the knife in a rage from the events that had just transpired and with the intent of driving the knife into defendant Diddy's back, where he turned around and began pleading for his life. Plaintiff, shocked now to see defendant Diddy acting as a victim, had a moment of clarity and then turned and ran down the outside stone staircase back out to the backyard to escape. Defendant Diddy then chased plaintiff down the stairs and attempted to push her, but she was already at the bottom of the stairs and gained her footing and wielded the knife at defendant Diddy, grazing his abdomen. Hearing the commotion, defendant KK and Jane Doe emerged, and defendant KK then began administering first aid to defendant Diddy for the injuries caused by plaintiff. Plaintiff tried to make a quick dash for the exit, but it was thwarted by defendant Doe 1. After a period of time, plaintiff was able to abscond from defendant Doe 1 due to the first aid commotion with defendant Diddy and was able to run down the street. Once plaintiff made it onto the street, she began yelling loudly for someone to call the police. Defendant Doe 1, who had now caught up with plaintiff, advised plaintiff that he was an undercover cop. To this day, plaintiff is unsure of the truth or falsity of that statement. The same neighbor then again emerged. The same neighbor that they told go in the house while I blow your head off, emerged from the residence, asking what was transpiring. Just as plaintiff was attempting to answer, gunshots began firing in the plaintiff's direction. Plaintiff fled to a car near where the neighbor was also taking cover and lost sight of defendant Doe 1. Plaintiff then heard an SUV screeching, skirt, and speeding, leaving the residence. Plaintiff then entered the home of the neighbor, who informed her that he had already called the police. Plaintiff informed the neighbor that it was Sean Combs who had argued her and shot at them, but the neighbor was unaware who defendant Diddy was. Shortly thereafter, a sheriff from the Coastal Sheriff Department arrived at the neighbor's home. Plaintiff told the sheriff she had been violently gang by defendant Diddy and others, and that she did not have her clothes, phone, purse, car keys, or cell phone. The sheriff told plaintiff and the neighbor that he had received several noise complaints prior to the neighbor's calls, and instructed the plaintiff to find a way to get home. Sheriff did not take any offer to take plaintiff home, nor did he call for emergency service, including an ambulance, nor any offer to take plaintiff to the hospital, nor any offer to help plaintiff recover her clothes or effects from defendant Shane's residence. The neighbor offered to let plaintiff sleep on the couch until she figured out a way to get her possessions and get home, but plaintiff declined and only remained at the neighbor's residence for a short period of time once the sheriff left. Plaintiff then went back to defendant Shane's residence, where she found the door open and her clothes were readily accessible in the residence. Defendant Shane then emerged as if nothing had transpired and offered her plaintiff to stay at his residence while she slept it off. Plaintiff asked for her personal keys, but defendant Shane told her she shouldn't leave in her condition. The plaintiff, catatonic and in a state of shock and disbelief of events that transpired, stayed at defendant Shane's home while defendant Shane left the home. Wow. So all this happened and she stayed at the house. Later that morning, defendant Shane returned to the residence and woke plaintiff up and finally gave her purse back, cell phone, keys, and plaintiff left defendant's residence. In a daze, plaintiff returned home and tried to make sense out of what had happened to her. On March 26, 2018, plaintiff contacted her primary care doctor and asked for an HIV and STD test in fear of possibly contracting the disease from a violent Plaintiff tried to continue her life as she felt she wouldn't be believed, as plaintiff already told the Contra Costa Sheriff Department. The Contra Costa Sheriff's defendant, Diddy, argued her to no avail. Further, plaintiff was under the impression if she did continue to say defendant Diddy's name in relation to the assault, she would not be believed and her family would be in danger. Now, y'all believe all that? Who believes that, yo? Like, yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, but the problem is, the average blogger doesn't do this. They just see a headline, they run with it, and it just be all lies. Or they do see this and just refuse to do the work. Like, yo, this sound like it can be in a movie. She not finished yet though, yo. Hold up. Right, they did all of that tour, and she still wound up going back and staying at the house. Like, wow, that's crazy. They argued, shot at her, and she still went back to the house. She said she did go to the police. The police did nothing. Look, let me finish reading. Seemingly mere days, maybe even the day before plaintiff vicious defendant Shane had miraculously begun driving a new car. Plaintiff believed this was a payment by defendant Diddy for setting up plaintiff to be argued. A few weeks later, in April 2018, plaintiff, still in pain and reeling from the horrific assault, went to the hospital as her injuries had not subsided from the assault. The hospital conducted several tests on plaintiff, including an ARD kit, ultrasound, and x-rays. Additionally, plaintiff was given IV fluids to stabilize her vitals as she was in severe weakened state from being unable to eat and losing a substantial amount of weight since the ARD occurred. While at the hospital, plaintiff told members of her treatment team about her horrific assault, and they then contacted the Walnut Creek police. The Walnut Creek police showed up to plaintiff's hospital room and took a statement regarding her assault on March 23rd. Plaintiff had already told Contra Costa Sheriff about her R, and that it was defendant Diddy who orchestrated it on March 23rd, 2018, which was ignored. Plaintiff declined to refer to defendant Diddy again to Walnut Creek police because she believed she would be ignored by Walnut Creek police just as she was by Contra Costa Sheriffs, and or would be further harmed by defendant Diddy if he discovered she named him to police. Plaintiff only told Walnut Creek police about the assault from defendant Shane and Doe 2. Plaintiff believe her statements made to Walnut Creek police while at the hospital were captured by police body camera footage. Plaintiff further believes her statements made to the Constitution sheriffs on March 23rd, immediately after the vicious assault, where plaintiff named defendant Diddy directly by name, was captured by police body camera footage. Plaintiff also filed a report with another police department on April 17, 2018, but again was too afraid to name defendant Diddy as one of her assailants. During this report, plaintiff provided her clothing to the police from the night of the assault, but they only retained her underwear. To date, her underwear has never been returned, and plaintiff believes no investigation ever commenced. So she went to all these police departments, and nobody did anything. Nobody. And she only named Diddy the one. Like, yo, we read every single lawsuit, y'all. Every single one. And all of them sound similar. All of them sound like nonsense. That's why when the whole internet was called for crucifixion, I'm like, man, they on some bullshit with Diddy. What they doing is, y'all, they throwing these lawsuits out there to muddy his name. They trying to muddy the jury pool. That's what they doing. Not just the police. 3 police, 3 of them. 3 police agencies did nothing. Walnut Creek, Constitution, whatever the fuck that is, and another one. I forgot the other one name. Do I think Diddy is innocent? He not innocent of beating Cassie up. We seen him do that. We seen him beat up Cassie. So no, he ain't innocent. But do I think he did all of these assaults? Fuck no. He might have did something, but he ain't do this shit. It don't even make sense. Right. Yeah, I don't think he innocent. I just don't think he did these things. Let's see what Law and Crime Network do. Let's see if they tell the truth over there or they gonna lie. Let's see if Law and Crime Network gonna tell the truth or they gonna lie. The biggest blog site on YouTube. "13 new sex trafficking." Oh my God. They just don't stop with the shit. That like one, subscribe to the channel if you need, man. Wow, they didn't report on Jay-Z? I wonder why. They reported on it when it was just Diddy.
With Sean Diddy Combs being denied bail yet again, what's next for him? Can he try for a 4th time? I'm going to be breaking it down with former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. What's next for Sean Combs? That's the question. For the guy who was denied bail for a 3rd time and will conceivably remain locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center pending his May 2025 trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering and prostitution charges, the question we're now asking is, can he ever get out of the MDC, the Metropolitan Detention Center? Does he have another chance at bail?
He can get bail.
I'm going to quickly set the stage.
You can file how many habeas corpuses you want. You know, that ain't nothing but a motion for bail reconsideration. Now, they can deny him, but he can file as many as he wants. He can file 20 of them bitches. It don't make logical sense, you know, if they keep denying you, but he can file however many he wants.
As you hear on Sidebar, Combs was denied bail by the current judge overseeing this case, Judge Arun Subramanian. Did it right on the eve of Thanksgiving, Wednesday night. And that is a big blow to the embattled rapper and producer who's facing these federal charges that could conceivably send him to prison for the rest of his life. Now, the judge, in his order, was moved by several factors. Judge Subramanian wrote on page 1 of the order, the court finds that the government has shown by clear and convincing evidence that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. Now, first, aside from the allegations in the indictment that detail an alleged scheme going on for years where Combs allegedly abused, threatened, coerced women to fulfill his sexual desires, that he operated a criminal enterprise that was engaged in all sorts of illicit activity. Putting that to the side, besides those allegations, Subramanian also cited the 2016 videotape of Sean Combs purportedly beating his ex-girlfriend,
That's all they
Cassandra
got.
Ventura, that was published.
See, yo, that's why they had to release this tape. If they didn't leak this tape, because Homeland Security or the feds did release this tape. Once Diddy legal team this tape, this case is getting tossed. But they had to release this tape because this is all they got to hold him in. This is all they have to say that Diddy is a danger to society. They don't have anything else. So they released this tape, and that's why they mention this tape at every single court hearing. Every court hearing. Because this is all they have. They have nothing else. The case is going to get tossed out, y'all. Watch.
Published by CNN several months ago, that coupled with all the allegations in the indictment, is evidence of his violence. It's his propensity to violence, his dangerousness. Dangerousness is an important factor in a bail analysis. Second, Subramanian ruled that Combs presents a serious risk of witness tampering, obstruction, like improperly contacting a grand jury witness and trying to cover it up. Third, Subramanian says that Combs violated the Bureau of Prisons regulations in the MDC to obscure his communications with third parties, whether that be paying other inmates to use their phone access code numbers to make calls to people who are not approved on his contact list, or instructing family members and lawyers to add people to three-way calls. And while the prosecution said, this is clearly an attempt to improperly contact witnesses of the case or influence a jury pool, Subramanian, in his order, said, I'm not even going to make a determination on the content of those communications. It's just the fact that he violated BOP rules that matters. He broke the rules while in the MDC, while he was seeking bail, and when he knew the government had already alleged he was reaching out to witnesses and engaging in obstruction, and yet he does this? Subramanian says, and despite all that, he does this for bars? What makes you think he can be trusted on the outside? And this was really interesting. Subramanian took issue with what he perceived to be Combs' lawyers, saying that they misrepresented to the court whether Sean Combs' legal pads in his jail unit were actually labeled legal or not. And that, again, was with respect to a separate inquiry on whether his rights were violated when photos were taken of those legal pads. That's a separate issue. But the idea is, can I even trust your lawyers, Mr. Combs? And by the way, Subramanian also cited the fact that Sean Combs' lawyers told a previous judge, hey, court, Combs didn't reach out to a grand jury witness in this case. But guess what? He allegedly did. So it goes back to this idea of how can I even trust the lawyers to make sure that Sean Combs will do what he needs to do? Yeah, right.
Ain't no fucking day to the
Number 5, let's talk about Sean Combs' bail package. And Subramanian.
The LZ show, the judge with the play, man. The judge is with the play. Look, let me tell y'all the play, right? This is the play, y'all. The play is they don't have a case. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna make up all these frivolous ways and allegations to keep him for as long as possible. Because more than likely, y'all, like I said, once they find out that the federal government leaked that Cassie video, the case is gonna get thrown, tossed way out, kicked out. You feel me? Because that was illegal. And who else leaked it? They had this tape since 2016. Who the fuck else leaked it? We never seen it before. When it was in Diddy possession, we ain't see it. This tape ain't get released until after the house raids. So once they finish that investigation, y'all, it's gonna come to the conclusion that the government is moving in bad faith. Case dismissed.
Entertaining the idea of pretrial release, because at a prior hearing, Combs' lawyers suggested that they would have This
I'm sure they bought all copies.
City,
Why would
that
you
there would
leave
be
copies?
3 private security members who monitor Sean Combs, that he would have no access to phone or internet, that he would have a pre-approved visitor list. There would be a $50 million bond. Subromanian wrote, the court doubts the sufficiency of any condition.
But how would listen, yo? How would CNN get a tape from 2016? You think they have that tape from 2016? Fuck no. They don't hold shit like that. Now they might hold tapes a little longer. But I'm sure if Diddy and them brought the tape, they brought the copies. You know, what's the point of buying the tape if you ain't gonna buy the copies? Man, the government released that shit. I'm tired of shit, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I was trying to go to 11. But yeah, what's the point of releasing that if you ain't gonna release? If you gonna still have copies out there? What Meek Mill say? The goal is to start for us now is create a mixture wave, matrix wave. If you can control the storyline, you can control the matrix. American media is totally unbelievable. I see Jay-Z blank a 13-year-old girl 300 times scrolling. It's called programming. Nah, Meek. They're trying to damage the jury pool, Meek. That's what they're doing. If they put the information out there, and this ain't even about Jay-Z. This is because Jay-Z couldn't get Jay-Z to pay. This is really about Diddy.
Illegally, but the kids are here legally. Your borders are
talking about separation.
Yeah, well,
that's all it proves.
I mean, there are 2 aspects to this. Your borders are Tom Homan said they can be deported together.
Correct.
Is that the plan?
Well, that way you keep well, I don't want to be breaking up families, so the only way you don't break up the family is you keep them together, send them all back.
Even kids who are here legally?
Well, what you got to do if they want to stay with the father? Look, we have to have rules and regulations. You can always find something out like, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. I'll tell you what's going to be horrible. When we take a wonderful young woman who's with a criminal and they show the woman and she could stay by the law.
Exactly, LZ.
But they show the woman being taken out. Or
exactly, LZ.
They want to.
And I talked about that when it was going on. Like, how the fuck they gonna say what he doing and they doing the same thing? So basically, the government want to play dirty, but they want to tie Diddy hands behind his back. Nah, man, you can't do that. If we gonna play dirty, let's play dirty. They don't want him to fight back. They just want to be able to hit on him and not allow him to fight back.
Her out, and your cameras are focused on her as she's crying, as she's being taken out of our country. And then the public turns against us. But we have to do our job. And you have to have a series.
4 million families in America who have mixed immigration status. So I'm talking about.
I think I got a better video of that. A longer video. Matter of fact, let's watch that. Donald Trump interview. That shit an hour long? God damn. We ain't watching the whole hour, y'all. I'm fucking tired. Yo, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to donate to the platform if you can, man. Cash App at the bottom of the screen, man. Sleep my man Edward coming through in crunch time. Let's see what old Donald Trump talking about.
President-elect Donald Trump, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. You are the first president since Grover Cleveland to win non-consecutive terms.
Mm-hmm.
Republicans now have control of the House and the Senate.
Right.
What do you plan to accomplish in your first 100 days in office?
Well, we're going to do something with the border, and very strong, very powerful. That'll be our first signal, and the first signal to America that we're not playing games. We have people coming in by the millions, as you know, and a lot of people shouldn't be here. Most of them shouldn't be here, but we have jails being emptied into our country. We have mental institutions from all over the world being emptied into our country. So we'll be doing that. We're going to be extending within that period, or as soon as we can, the Trump tax cuts. because they're coming due and they're very substantial for people, and it would be very. I think it will anger a lot of people, frankly, if we don't get an extension of that. That's what led us to one of the greatest economies ever. And those two things are going to be very vital, very important. We're going to be focusing on crime in the cities, and we'll work with Democrat governors. Most of them are, as you know, if you look at the 25 worst places, they're just about all Democrat-controlled cities and states. And we're going to be working with Democrat governors and Democrat mayors. And I look forward to doing it. But we have to do something about crime, and mostly in our cities. And we're going to have a lot of other things. We'll be working on nominations. We're going to still be working on some nominations. I think they're going very well. We have, for the most part, I think they're going extremely well. It looks like Peter's doing well now. I mean, people were a little bit concerned. He's a young guy with a tremendous track record, actually. He went to Princeton and went to Harvard. He was a good student at both, but he loves the military, and I think people are starting to see it. So we'll be working on his nomination along with a lot of others.
We are going to delve into your nominations, but since you bring him up, do you still have confidence in Pete Hegseth?
Yes, I do. I really do. He's a very smart guy. I've known him through Fox, but I've known him for a long time. And he's basically a military guy. I mean, every time I talk to him, all he wants to talk about is the military. He's a military guy. I used to kid him about it. I didn't think he would be in this position where he may be, hopefully will be Secretary of Defense. But every time I was with him, he was fighting for soldiers, where he said some soldier was unjustly put in prison because they were really doing what they were taught to do in some cases. So, yeah, I think he's going to.
What's up, affiliate marketers? How you doing?
Yo, hold up, y'all.
Michael Bashy here.
We gotta call the clown out real quick. So, yo, remember the other day, right? Yesterday, we talked about, fuck that boy name is, Andrew Schultz. And I was saying, yo, Charlemagne, that's his guy, right? So Charlemagne got to talk about this, like, yo, what's up with your peoples? You feel me? That's your guy, right? So you know, because he got a show with him.
About.
So Charlemagne and Yo is back on the show together. And watch how stupid Charlemagne tried to play. Like, yo, I can't stand these guys, man. These are the guys that's in the way. Charlemagne. You know, Charlemagne, they didn't task Charlemagne to be at the one of the heads of the black community. And he's not really with us. He's only with us with his beneficial tone. But the reason I said that he had to speak on his man's situation, because he introduced him to us. It's similar to if I introduce somebody to one of my friends and one of my friends do you wrong, then my friend got to answer to me. You know, because by you doing him wrong, you did me wrong. And it's the same situation. Charlemagne introduced Andrew Schultz to the community. Andrew Schultz now is a part of the community, and he's wreaking havoc. So what is Charlemagne going to say? Charlemagne acts like he's oblivious to all of this. He do donkey today every day. He's on the breakfast. He talks about everything. But somehow, some way, he missed this.
Do you make jokes about black women?
I make jokes about black women, yeah.
Really? I've never heard them.
I can see why you haven't heard them, because I usually do it really idiots once a week for the last 10 years.
I've never heard. South Park did a whole episode about Lizzo.
Hold on, you're saying South Park did an episode about Lizzo? Wait a minute, but isn't Kendrick Lamar doing a comedy with South Park creators?
Yes.
Wait a minute, hold on. But do the laws not apply to Kung Fu Kenny? Because they're white comedians making fun of black women.
I mean, I don't really know what's going on. I haven't really.
Yo, what's happening in this world? Charlemagne, what's happening in this world?
I haven't really heard about any of this.
Oh my God.
Well,
apparently, rappers.
Tell me where it began.
Okay, rappers started telling comedians that they need to be more respectful of women.
Okay. Let's
something that none of us thought would happen in history.
Let's listen to
You know what I mean?
What did he say?
What you
Taylor?
talking about?
Fucking say that for years.
What, the comedians are too
Well,
disrespectful
that everybody
to...
should just be more respectful.
I like...
No, what he just said, like, oh, but he could do a show with South Park.
So the guys that created South Park are two white guys, and they've made jokes about black women.
Well, they make jokes about everybody.
Oh, my God. Hold on. What did you say?
They do have a character.
What did you say?
What's the character, the black character?
Token.
And they do make jokes, like they did earlier this year, they did do the episode about Lizzo. They do make jokes about everybody. Like, everybody gets it on South Park. And see, that's
you know who you're talking to.
Now, I don't really know what's going on.
Well, if
I don't know.
Everybody gets these jokes.
Okay, that I know.
Everybody. Mustard gets it. Mayo gets it. Okay? Duck sauce gets it.
I don't think he's funny at all, yo.
Curry gets it.
Oh, he's talking about the season.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was talking about Steph or Indians. So.
I'm talking about Indians. That's the Indians. We're doing it for each group of people. Everybody get these jokes. That's the rule.
Taylor, what's the line?
But Kendrick got specific laws.
says never
Kendrick got to protect women from comedians as long as he's got an album coming out.
looking for
Listen, Kendrick's got to stand up for you ladies.
The last verse.
As long as he can profit from it. He got to stand up for you ladies.
Stop it.
Make it bigger, pause. It says,
I don't think
So Sheldon act like he don't know. He's not aware of any of this. This is a major thing on the internet. He's not aware of any of this. But let me show y'all Black Lives Matter, man. So this is Black. Now Black Lives Matter, yo, is not in it for black.
You make jokes about black women?
For Black lives.
I make jokes about black women, yeah.
Really? I've never heard of him.
Why don't keep doing that?
Call him a hero. How?
Look at your right here.
How? Would Daniel Penny be a hero if Jordan Neely was white? No. He'd be a
Look
man
at my man
that
right
went
here.
too far. But that's America. Black lives do not matter to you. They didn't matter in the 2000s. They didn't matter in the 50s and 60s. They didn't matter in the 1800s. Black lives do not matter. Black people don't mean anything to white America.
Yo, we haven't heard Black Lives Matter in 4 years. Like, where they been at? Like, yo, where the fuck has Black Lives Matter been in the last 4 years? So what do Black Lives Matter only come around when it's a Republican in office? Like, yo, what the, like, yo, don't fall for don't take the bait, y'all. Please. Do not take the bait. Yo, they coming after black council people. I don't know what the fuck that's about. All of them break laws.
It's my people. And then what the do I have to do in this council in order to get respect as a black woman? I'm not afraid of anybody here. When I make a mistake, I will be clear. I don't hate you as a white woman. I don't hate you as a white
She probably
woman.
Black Lives Matter
I am
too.
sick and tired of this body so stupidly racially divided, so afraid, so depraved. People with no faith because they are afraid of their losing.
That's
their
probably what it is,
investment.
though, y'all. They probably getting them Black Lives Matter activists out of Congress. It's probably what's going on for real.
They're afraid of bargaining. They're afraid of leveraging. These people have, oh my God, I can't even call you cowards because desperation deserves mercy. Here's a redistricting. Fine, we give it to a white woman. Can we all get along? Can we get together? Can we love each other now? Can we make sure that black and brown babies don't die? Can we make sure that cops don't kill before people are proven innocent? Can we do that? No, because this body crucifies because of allegations. This is not
Yeah, she got
court.
caught stealing money.
You don't get to crucify people before they're proven guilty. They're innocent until proven guilty. Now, after this, I will look forward to working with you because I have stamina. I believe, as Baldwin said, what you do, not what you say. Your votes here sometimes are racist. You move sometimes in a way that hurts represent every single black woman and man that suffers in the community.
See, the problem is, yo, these people aren't. Yo, like, it's hard to trust them motherfuckers, man. Like, I'm gonna let it continue.
God has my back. I am not afraid to not have political aside or any type of affiliations or connections. I came here, I fear none, no man but my Lord. I came here to serve people. I came here to love. I came here to grow. But people talk about this racial equity thing. It's all fake. And you do politics and you hurt each other. And yet, here I am,
class
a
definitely
5 foot
matters.
tall
Race matters too.
African
Class
woman from the
definitely
projects. And I am here to tell you, if the voters don't vote me back, we
are. She probably Black Lives Matter right there. I'm telling you, y'all, they coming back full force. Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and they're gonna blame Trump. Remember I told y'all that, right? I told y'all that a while ago, and then I run across this. Black Lives Matter has threatened widespread riots in major U.S. cities if Daniel Petty is acquitted. Yo, I just want people to don't take the bait, yo. When you see them people rioting, yo, that's not us. That's them. And them ain't us. Just know that, yo. It's not going to be because Trump is in office and the racist is coming out. No, it's not that. It's because of these motherfuckers. It's because of these. They're not here for the people, man. They haven't done anything. We ain't heard nothing from them in 4 years. We ain't heard nothing from them in 4 years. Now all of a sudden they back out in full blast talking again. Get the fuck out of here, man. This is crazy. No, I don't disagree. It's definitely a class thing. Yeah, but race matters as well, man. You can't just say race don't matter. It's probably more of a class thing than a race thing, you know, because white people that live in the community get treated the same way as us in the same community. But it's some things that been done to black people that just been done to black people specifically. It wasn't everybody. It's just black people. So you can't just say it's not black people.
The fact that there are these allegations against him, misconduct, sexual misconduct, heavy drinking, the fact that he said to some senators reportedly he'll stop drinking if he gets this job, does that worry you?
No, I think that everybody has something that they can stop.
They just was, Benji.
Some people can stop eating. I'm lucky I'm not a drinker, but I could stop eating. And we all want to stop doing something. And if he said that, I mean, it's a nice thing to say. That's a good thing to say. But he's very respected. I can tell you, I know a lot of the people at Fox, they think he's fantastic. And the people that work with him, really, they love him. So I think you're going to have somebody that's really terrific. And again, all he talked about with me, I said, you know, you're not really a television guy, even though he did very well, as you know. You're really a military guy. He said, I'm all about the military. And I told him, so he's making a lot of money at Fox. They're doing very well. And I said, you know, if for some reason you don't get this thing, you're not going to be able to go back. And all that money you're making, you can kiss it goodbye. He said, this is all about America. You know, he didn't say, well, let me think about it. Let me discuss it.
Impose these tariffs, or are they a negotiating tactic?
Well, I'll give you an example. With Canada, and in particular Mexico, We have millions of people pouring into our country. You agree with that? I spoke with both. I spoke with Justin Trudeau. In fact, he flew to Mar-a-Lago within about 15 seconds after the call ended. It was at Mar-a-Lago. We were having dinner talking about it. I said, you have to close up your borders because they're coming in the northern border too a lot. Not like the southern border, but they're coming in the Canadian border a lot. And drugs are pouring in. Almost as importantly, drugs are pouring in, maybe more importantly, drugs are pouring in at levels never seen before, 10 times what we had. Dang. They're just pouring in. We can't have open borders. And I said to the president of Mexico and to Justin Trudeau, if it doesn't stop, I'm going to put tariffs on your country at about 25%. That's a very substantial tariff. And in both cases, but in the case where it was really visible, within 10 minutes after that phone call, we noticed that the people coming across the border, the southern border, having to do with Mexico, they were at a trickle, just a trickle. It was, in fact, I call the border. See, unlike my opponent, I do call the border a lot. And I said, how's the border looking today? They said, there's nobody here. They couldn't believe it. The military stopped these vast groups of people. You know, we call them caravans, but they had caravans of people. Largely stopped them. Now, they're going to have to continue that. But if they don't continue, and the other thing I told them is no more drugs. And I told that to China, too. I had to deal with President Xi. Had the election been different, I'm going to be very nice because we don't have to get into an argument over 2020. But had the election been different, the result been different, we would have had China giving their maximum penalty, which is the penalty of death, to people that sent fentanyl into this country. But Biden didn't, unfortunately, finish that discussion up. I had an agreement with President Xi, who I got along with very well. Dang. We've had communication as recently as this week.
Yo, that's it's so crazy, right? Yo, I did a video a year ago. Try to warn people like, yo, our communities are changing, yo. They sending these motherfuckers in here by clothes. Nobody paid it any attention. You know, because at that time, you really couldn't say it out in the open. You know, I tried to say it through code. Some people caught the message. Some people didn't. But it's like, you look now, it's like, damn. Well, you walk through some of these streets. You be like, yo, what the fuck happened? Like, yo, this is not the community I remember. They got flags up. They out that bitch playing soccer. Like, yo, what the fuck is going on out here, man? Like, and then when you find out what they was doing to try to, like, propel them motherfuckers in and make sure they succeed, it's like, damn. That's why Americans can't get the simplest of help. Like, they might giving all that shit away.
Death penalty to anybody sending drugs into the United States.
This week you had that conversation.
Not that conversation, but I had other conversations. Okay. But in the past, I've had that conversation.
Let me ask you about another aspect of the economy, sir, the minimum wage. The federal minimum wage has been $7.25 since 2009. There are 20 states that still have the federal minimum wage at $7.25. And I actually have a map. 19 of these states actually voted for you, sir. Mm-hmm. And you can see it right here. I don't know if you remember this, but during the debate in 2020, I asked you if you would raise the minimum wage. You said you would consider it. And so my question for you is, now that you are going back to the White House, for these 19 states that voted for you, are you going to raise the federal wage?
It's a very low number. I will agree. It's a very low number. In
it's
California,
like
they raised it up to a very high number. Mm. And your restaurants are going out
of
business all over the place. The population is shrinking. It's had a very negative impact. But there is a level at which you could do it, absolutely. Yeah.
What is that level?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know.
Yeah, at least raise that.
I can say this.
15.
You have a lot of businesses that are open and thriving because of the lower minimum wage. If you raise it too much, and you understand this, if California went crazy, they went crazy. And people... The restaurants are closing all over. Many more people are hurt.
Yes,
so I hear you saying, similarly to sort of what you said in 2020, will you consider, is this something you're going to look at?
I'd want to speak to the governors. And the other thing that's very complicated about minimum wages is places are so different. Mississippi and Alabama and great places are very different than New York or California. I mean, in terms of the cost of living and other things. So it would be nice to have just a minimum wage for the whole country, but it wouldn't work because you have places where it's very inexpensive to live, where a minimum wage, which is at $8 or $9, might be, might have very little effect because the cost of living in certain places is really low.
Before we move on to immigration, which I do want to talk about, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, said he will not leave his post even if you ask him to. Will you try to replace Jerome Powell?
No, I don't think so. I don't see it. But
at least 10 hours.
I told him to, he would. But if I asked him to, he
at
probably
least raise
would.
that bitch to 10 hours.
To, he would.
You don't have plans to do that right now?
No, I don't.
Like 9 hours is extremely low. I mean, 7 hours is extremely low, yo. At least 10 hours. That's low, but god dang. I know here in Pennsylvania, yo, down.
Okay.
Like they say the cost of living higher, but they tear you up with every other thing. Cars and man, the drive in Pennsylvania, man, they give you so many tickets and fines and fees and like man, they gonna make that money. Yeah, they gonna make that money straight up.
Let's talk about mass deportation, one of your big agenda items. You've talked about prioritizing people who have criminal histories.
Correct.
Is it your plan to deport everyone who is here illegally over the next 4 years?
Well, I think you have to do it.
Yeah,
and
for real.
It's a very tough thing to do. It's but you have to have, you have rules, regulations, laws that came in illegally. The people that have been treated very unfairly are the people that have been online for 10 years to come into the country. And we're going to make it very easy for people to come in terms of they have to pass the test. They have to be able to tell you what the Statue of Liberty is. They have to tell you a little bit about our country. They have to love our country. They can't come out of prisons. We don't want people that are in for murder. So we had 11,000 and 13,000 different estimates, 13,099 murderers released into our country over the last 3 years. They're walking down the streets. They're walking next to you and your family, and they're very dangerous.
The 13,000 figure, I think, goes back about 40 years.
It's within the 3-year period. It's during the Biden term. That was a fiction that they put that out. This was done by the Border Patrol. It's 13,099, and it's during the Biden period of time. And these are murderers, many of whom murdered more than one person. You don't want those people in this country.
But you're saying something, sir, that's significant. I just want to make sure I'm clear, which is that you're saying, yes, you're going to focus on the people with criminal histories, but everyone who's here illegally has to go.
I'm saying this. We have to get the criminals out of our country. We have to get people that were taken out of mental institutions and put them back into their mental institution, no matter what country it is. Do you know that Venezuela, their prisons are at the lowest point in terms of emptiness that they've ever been? They're taking their people out of those prisons by the thousands, and they're drunk. And just to get back, because I know exactly what you're getting at. Number one, we're doing criminals, and we're going to do them really rapidly. We're getting the worst gang, probably with MS-13, and the Venezuelan gangs are the worst in the world. They're vicious, violent people. And you see what they've done in Colorado and other places. They're taking over, literally taking over apartment complexes and doing it with impunity. They don't care. They just are, they're in the real estate business.
The local police say that is not the case in Colorado.
Oh, it's totally the case. I mean, I used to play it at my rallies every single night. No, they're breaking into doors. They're taking over the building.
But sir, you
and by the way,
the point,
the police are afraid to do anything.
You raised the point that the logistics are complicated. You said it yourself.
But everything's complicated.
Yeah, you mean you need 24 times more ICE detention capacity just to deport 1 million people per year, not to mention more agents, more judges, more planes. Is it realistic to deport everyone who's here illegally? You have no choice.
Man, they got to
First of all, they're costing us a fortune.
They got to go.
But we're starting with the criminals, and we got to do it. And then we're starting with others, and we're going to see how it goes.
Who are the others?
Others are other people outside of criminals. We have convicted murderers. We don't mean people that are even on trial. We have people that have murdered numerous people are on our streets and in our farms, and we have to get them out of our country.
What about dreamers, sir, dreamers who were brought to this country illegally as children. You said once back in 2017, they, quote, shouldn't be very worried about being deported. Should they be worried now?
The dreamers are going to come later,
Man,
and
you
we have to
man,
do
back in the
something about
90s,
the
$20
dreamers,
an hour,
because
you
these are
thought you was
people that have
rich.
been brought here
Shit fucking
at a very
changed,
young
man.
age, and many of these are middle-aged people now. They don't even speak the language of their country.
That
And
like
yes,
button, y'all.
we're
Subscribe
gonna
to
do
the channel
something
for
about
you.
What
the
does that
dreamers.
mean?
And
What are you going to do?
I will work with the Democrats on a plan, and if we can come up with a plan, but the Democrats have made it very, very difficult to do anything. Republicans are very open to the dreamers. The dreamers, we're talking many years ago, they were brought into this country, many years ago. Some of them are no longer young people, and in many cases, they become successful. They have great jobs. In some cases, they have small businesses. Some cases, they might have large businesses. And we're going to have to do something with them. And
You want them to be able to stay. That's what you're saying.
I do. I want to be able to work something out.
Damn.
And it should have been able to be worked out over the last
That's
3 or 4
crazy.
years. And it never got worked out. You know, Biden could have done it because he controlled, Congress to a certain extent, right? He could have
That's
done
good,
something,
bro.
but they didn't do it. I never understood why, because they always seem to want to do it, but then when it comes down to it, they don't. I think we can work with the Democrats and work something out.
Let me ask you about another group of people, the estimated 4 million families in America who have mixed immigration status. So I'm talking about parents who might be here illegally, but
Yeah.
the kids are here legally. Your borders
You're
are
talking
Tom
about
Homan.
separation.
Yeah, well, there are two aspects to this. Your border czar, Tom Homan, said they can be deported together. Is
Correct.
that the
Well,
plan?
that way you keep well, I don't want to be
know.
breaking up families, so the only way you don't break up the family is you keep them together,
So,
and you have
LeVar.
to send them.
Even kids who are here legally?
Well, what you're going to do if they want to stay with the father? Look, we have to have rules and regulations. You can always find something out like, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. I'll tell you what's going to be horrible. When we take a wonderful young woman who's with a criminal, and they show the woman, and she could stay by the law, but they show the woman being taken out, or they want her out, and your cameras are focused on her as she's crying, as she's being taken out of our country, and then the public turns against us. But we have to do our job, and you have to have a series of standards and a series of laws. And
Yeah, hell yeah.
Look,
All
our
of them.
country is a mess.
All
We have
of
the
them.
highest crime rate, and during the debate, a man whose ratings have gone way down, David Muir, said to me, no, crime is, because I had to debate 3 people, not one. Debating 1 was easy. Debating 3 was actually pretty easy too, if you want to know the truth. But David Muir said, the crime rates have gone down. I said, no, they've gone up. And then the following day, they released the crime
Yeah,
rates.
for
and
real.
they
Don't
were
nobody
way
care
up.
about
Yeah,
that,
the
do they?
FBI statistics, right? You're talking about those FBI statistics,
Well, no, but
which
he gave the wrong answer. The
confusing
crime rates
based
are
on
down.
what you're looking at.
But a lot of that is migrant crime.
Let me ask you about another aspect of
Christian,
this.
a lot of it's migrant crime.
Well, let me ask you about another aspect of this that I think a lot of people are really curious about. I mean, 3% of the people who are here illegally have criminal histories, but in your first administration,
know
you
that
had
for
the zero
sure.
tolerance policy.
They don't know that for sure.
Where we did see family separations.
Yeah.
You ended it. The purpose of that, though, to some extent, you talked
By the
about
way,
this at the
you had
time,
it.
was
You also
deterrent.
had it with Obama. You do know that.
He didn't have a zero tolerance policy.
And you also know he built the jails for children.
He didn't have a zero tolerance policy.
But in 2014, he built the jails. You know that.
I want to ask you about the zero
Yes, I
tolerance
heard,
policy. I mean, he didn't have a
they found
systemic
Monopoly
we're gonna
money in the
separate
book
families.
bag.
Families were separated when parents were a threat to the kids.
We don't have to
Let me
separate
ask
a
you about
family.
this.
Excuse me, Kristen.
Yeah.
We don't have to separate families.
Yeah.
We'll send the whole family very humanely back to the country where they came. That way the family's not separated.
So no more family separations. You're not
Yeah,
reviving
mommy
the
had
zero
him in
tolerance
Cleveland.
policy.
Family
Yeah.
Say, I'd rather have dad go, and we'll stay here. And in which case they have that option.
But you're not going to revive your zero tolerance policy, which was put in place as a deterrent. Is there any universe where you would bring that back, sir?
We need deterrence. Look, ready? When somebody comes here illegally, they're going out. It's very simple. When they come here illegally, they're going out. Now, if they come here illegally, but their family is here legally,
Damn.
then the family has a choice. The person that came in illegally can go out, or they can all go out together.
So, but
And that was made very clear by Tom Homan.
so you're not, at this point in time, planning to revive that zero tolerance policy where kids are
Well, if you call that,
separated.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
they-
doing what
they
I
ain't
just
gonna
told you
allow
I'm
that
going to
shit.
do. You know, I don't want to send the family out. I don't want to send anybody out. But I'll tell you, we have to, because otherwise we have no country. If we don't have borders, And if we don't have voting, good voting, fair voting, do you know they're still counting votes in San Diego, California? Listen, they're still counting the votes. This is almost 4 weeks. They're still counting the votes. If we don't have fair elections and honest voting and machines that work quickly, you know, if you had paper ballots, every election will be over by 10 o'clock in the evening.
So let me ask you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Let me, before we get
and
to...
you get a much more accurate count.
Before we get to all of that, let me ask you about some of your other promises on this topic. You promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons
my thing
born
is,
in the United States are citizens.
Why are they trying to make it like, they gotta go. Like, why are they trying to make this shit like him saying he gotta go is an issue? Saying some of these cities. They got to, I ain't never, Nah, like, I don't know why they trying to do that, It's too many. They everywhere. Hispanic, African, they everywhere. They don't speak English. They got to go. They got to go. Like, I don't know why people making that shit like the Democrats making that shit like it's something wrong. They got to go.
You get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it. We're the only country that has it.
Through an executive action?
We're the only country that has it. Do you know, if just 1 foot, you don't need to, on our land, congratulations, you are now a citizen of the United States of America. Yes, we're going to end that because it's ridiculous.
Through executive action?
I don't know. You talk about
through executive action. I was going to do it through executive action, but then we had to fix COVID first, to be honest with you. We have to end it. It's ridiculous. Do you know we're the only country in the world that has it? Do you know that? There's not one other country.
What about the legal challenge, inevitable legal challenges that'll come?
Do you know we have thousands of judges? Somebody walks onto our land, and we have to now say, welcome to the United States. They could be a criminal or not a criminal. We release them into our country. It's called catch and release. We release them into our country. Wait just 1 second. And now they get them lawyers. And the lawyers are good lawyers. And everybody has a lawyer. And do you know how many judges we have? Thousands. Now, here's what other countries do. They come into the land and they say, I'm sorry, you have to go. And they take them out. Okay? With us, once they touch our land, we're into litigation that lasts for years, costs us hundreds of billions of dollars. We have judges, and I'm sure they're all honest, but I don't know that for a fact. You can imagine what's going on with the judges. But just so because I have a lot of judges. I tell you what, I know more about judges than any human being in history. Look,
Chico,
we have judges. Every time somebody puts 2 feet or even 1 foot on a piece of our land, it's welcome to long-term litigation. Other countries, every other country, when somebody walks on and they see that they're here illegally, they walk them off, they take them back to where they came from. We have to get rid of this system. It's killing our country.
Let's talk about health care. I've been talking to Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill. They say it's no longer feasible to repeal and replace Obamacare because it's so entrenched.
Attention
I
retirees.
think he's talking about what was going on in New York. When he was talking about house a migrant and was giving them all that fucking money and it was emptying schools. Like, kids was missing schools to house. Like, what type of shit is that, man? Like, these last 4 years, man, they've been burning down the country. Like, burning that shit down, with just a whole bunch of nonsense and fuckery. And people don't want to be who they really are. People want to be men. Men want to be... Like, come on now, y'all. Like, come on now. In other places, that shit wouldn't even be allowed. That shit wouldn't even fly.
Do you see it that way? Is that now off the table, repealing and replacing?
When John McCain let us down by voting, and Murkowski and Collins and whoever it was that voted against, but they really let us down. They did us a great disservice because we would have... Obamacare is lousy health care. It's very expensive health care for the people. It's also expensive for the country, but for the people. It's lousy health care. When John McCain gave his thumbs down after saying for 10 years that he wants to repeal and replace, okay? And then he came out, put his now famous thumbs down, and he became a hero to the left. Let me tell you, if we find something better, I would love to do it. But one thing I have to say, I inherited Obamacare, or anything else you want to go. It's got about 20 names, but I inherited it. And I had a decision to make with Health and Human Services. I had a big decision to make. Do I make it as good as we can make it, or do I let it rot? And a lot of
benefits
political
we
people
fought
said,
for,
let
we
it
haven't even
rot.
been getting.
And
Like, yo, benefits that we fought for, we haven't been getting. They've been giving that shit to them. Like, yo, that shit had to been a crime, yo. Like, yo, what was going on, yo, in the last 4 years, yo, had to have been a crime, yo. Like, if you being honest, I don't give a fuck, Democrat, Republican. Yo, you had to get the feeling that we was being sold out. Like, you had to. There's no way, yo. It's no way, yo, you didn't feel, look around and like, yo, what the fuck is going on over here, yo? Like, this is not the America that we grew up in and thrived in. And you understand? Like, it's like we was being sold. We was being sold, man. We can't get no help, no nothing. Meanwhile, they giving it to everybody else. Billions sent over to Ukraine. Billions sent over. Like, yo, what the fuck is this, man? Like, if somebody should have went to jail for that shit, for real.
Let it be a failure. I said that's not the right thing. And I had very good people in the medical area that handled that. And I said, what do you want to do? He said, we really have an obligation to make it as good as we can. And we did. We made it as good as we can make it. Instead of making it bad, where everybody would be calling for its repeal, I made it so that it works. Now,
but you did try to overturn it, sir.
Well, it's
you
lousy.
did try to overturn it. You did have your Justice Department try to direct the Supreme Court to overturn it.
No, we got a little bit of a surprising opinion, to be honest with you. If it would have been overturned, we would have had much better health care right now. But right now, we have something that I made the best of. I could have made the worst of it, and it would have fallen by the wayside. I did the right thing from a human standpoint, but I'm sort of proud of my decision. At the same time, sometimes I regret it. I told the people, and I gave them the money to do it. I said, fix it, make it work, because people would have suffered. But it's too bad that they voted no. I wish John McCain, he fought for 10 years on replacing Obamacare for 10 years, and then he voted against. Nobody understands.
Sir, you said during the campaign you had concepts of a plan. Do you have an actual plan at this point for healthcare?
Yes, we have concepts of a plan that would be better.
Still just concepts? Do you have a fully developed plan?
Let me explain. We have the biggest healthcare companies looking at it. We have doctors. We're always looking because Obamacare stinks. It's lousy. There are better answers. If we come up with a better answer, I would present that answer to Democrats and to everybody else, and I do something about it. But until we have that, or until they can approve it, but we're not going to go through the big deal. I am the one that saved Obamacare, I will say, and I did the right thing. I could have done the more political thing and killed it, and all I had to do is starve it to death.
You did try to have your Justice Department effectively kill it, though, sir.
Kill it from a legal standpoint, but from a physical standpoint, I made it work.
In your concepts of a plan, sir.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free
like, for
e-commerce
real, though,
store.
man. Like, I can't believe, yo, that, yo, like, y'all have been crushed, yo, if the Democrats would have won again, yo.
Conditions still have coverage, and can you guarantee their prices will not go up?
The answer is yes. They'll have coverage. You have to have it.
And what about their
prices?
Because
you know what?
What about their prices, sir?
I want the prices to go down. I want to have better health care for less money. And there are ways of doing it, I believe. And I have the smartest people in that world. You know, that's a separate world unto itself. I have the smartest people in that world looking at it and trying. And if they come up with something, I will present it. Now, maybe you won't be able to sell it, but if we get better health care for less money, I believe it's very saleable.
Just very quickly, when will we see your fully developed plan? When are you going to show
I don't know
the
that you'll see it at all. I can only say that we have some of the best healthcare people. I've always tinkered with it. I think it's a little hard to explain. Obamacare, when I took it over, was a disaster. And I made it
has
workable.
insured 20 million people.
Yeah, because of me. because of me. If you look at what I did, I was I made it good.
You tried to repeal and replace it. You tried to kill it.
Because if I repealed it and replaced it, we would have had a better system because we wouldn't have had health care. The Democrats would have been forced to do something. If we wouldn't have had it, the Democrats would have been forced to do something that they wouldn't do if we have it.
Let me ask you about another aspect of healthcare. You talked about this on the campaign trail, IVF. You promised free IVF for all who want it, either through the government or through mandates with insurance companies. I've been hearing from Republican senators, some of them, who say they're not going to support that plan. How are you going to get that passed?
Well, we're going to see. We want them to pay, ideally the insurance companies to pay for it, the fertilization. I came out very early for a Republican, especially, and I think they were looking for my guidance, my great wisdom, right?
Y'all, can we get to 100 likes, y'all? Hit the screen twice,
I got a
y'all.
call
Tap the
from
screen
Katie
twice.
Britt, who's a terrific person, senator from Alabama, and she said, "Sir, we just had a really negative ruling from a judge in Alabama, conservative judge, that all of these clinics had to be closed." And she said, and she went into great detail, and she said people are devastated over it. And after literally speaking to her for 5 minutes, I issued an order, really an order in a sense, and it was a statement from the Republican Party that we are all IVF and fertilization, okay? The Alabama legislature met the following day and passed it.
Thanks,
it was a
everybody.
beautiful thing to see. And I consider myself to be the father of IVF in a certain way. And the Republicans were very strong on the issue.
But, sir, I want to understand where it falls in your list of priorities. I mean, is this something we can expect to see you try to move on in the first 100 days?
We're going to be talking about it, and we're going to be seeing. We have a lot of other things. I have tax cuts. You know, we'll be submitting in either the first or second package to Congress the extension of the tax cuts. So that might very well be in there, or it'll come sometime after that.
Let's talk about abortion, sir. You have taken responsibility for overturning Roe v. Wade. You've said that abortion is now a state issue. There are steps that you could take, though, as president to restrict abortion through executive action without Congress. More than half of abortions in this country are medication abortions. Will you restrict the availability of abortion pills when you're in office?
I'll probably stay with exactly what I've been saying for the last 2 years, and the answer is no.
You commit to that?
Well, I commit. I mean, do things change? I think they change. I hate to go on shows like Joe Biden. I'm not going to give my son a pardon. I will not, under any circumstances, give him a pardon. I watch this, and I always...
You knew he couldn't pass that moment up. Look, that shit was totally irrelevant. He had to bring that to the interview. Wild as a motherfucker.
Knew he was going to give him a pardon, and so I don't like putting myself in a position like that. So things do change, but I don't think it's going to change at all.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with that. See, people got to understand about abortions, man. Abortions, it's not health planning. Like, it's just population control. I mean, it's just population control, man. And it was built off of racism. So I ain't never really been a fan of abortions. Now, he's not banning abortions. He's just leaving it up to the state. You know, it's just not a law that guarantees it anymore. But statewide or wise, it's still legal in certain states. You know, if you can't get it one state, go to another state. You know, I guess, you know, but at the end of the day, they need to make certain I don't want to say qualifications, but it need to be certain objects to the rule, you know, like through incest or, you know, or assault. Like, I think that should be federal binding. But the fact that they're not trying to make abortions bind by the feds anymore, by the whole country, like, I don't really have no problem with that, like, at all, for real. Y'all need to watch my High for 21, man. It tell you all about Margaret Sanger and how abortion started and the racism and how they made abortions a black person's thing. And today you got over, 400-something black babies been aborted since abortion's been a thing. Like, more black kids die from abortion than any other thing combined. Heart disease, cancer, murder. Like, you name it and put it in that motherfucker, man. Abortions is killing more than all of that.
Some of your picks to fill out your administration, you named Kash Patel to be the next FBI director. He has a list in his book of 60 people that he calls members of the so-called deep state. It includes Democrats like Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. It includes former members of your cabinet, from Bill Barr to Christopher Wray. You campaigned on destroying deep state. Do you want Kash Patel to launch investigations into people on that list?
No, I mean, he's going to do what he thinks is right.
Do you think that's right? Do you think that's right, sir?
If they think that somebody was dishonest or crooked or a corrupt politician, I think he probably has an obligation to do it. But
are you going to direct him to do it?
No, not at all. Not at all. We have two great people there. We have him and we have Pam. And Pam Bondi has been like a rocket ship. She's very popular and very good and very fair. And Kash Patel is very fair. I'll tell you, I thought Kash may be difficult because he's, a strong conservative voice. And I don't know of anybody that's not singing his praises. The other day I was watching, and Trey Gowdy, who's a moderate person and very smart and very respected in the party, he's Kash's biggest fan.
They selling women on my body, my choice. Yo, but let me tell y'all something, yo. This country don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, all of that is just a talking point. Like, these people don't give a fuck about no choice of anybody's. Like, whatever they want goes. But they'll sell you that idea because it makes people emotional. It's something that you can latch on to. It's something that you can protest with. But if you want to be real, they don't give a fuck about nobody's body, nobody's choice. Like, this country, we ain't morally right. Like, you don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
He said, this is the most misunderstood man in politics. He's great. I guess they worked together on the Russia hoax or something. And Trey Gowdy became a fan. Trey Gowdy. Everybody respects him. And, just like him, others also. I don't know of one negative vote. I don't think he's going to have any negative votes.
Is it your expectation, though, that Kash Patel will pursue investigations against your political enemies?
No, I don't think so.
Do you want to see that happen?
If they were crooked, if they did something wrong, if they have broken the law, probably they went after me. They went after me and I did nothing wrong.
Well, let me ask you this. You said President Biden, quote, that you're going to appoint a real special prosecutor to go after Joe Biden. You said that during the campaign.
Where?
You said that on Truth Social, June 12th, 2023. I will appoint a real special prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of the United States, Joe Biden, and the entire Biden crime family. Are you going to do that? Are you going to go after Joe Biden?
I'm really looking to make our country successful. I'm not looking to go back into the past. I'm looking to make our country successful. Retribution will be through success. If we can make this country successful, that would be that would be such a great achievement. Bring it back. We have a country now that's overridden with crime, that has millions of people that shouldn't be here, that should be in prisons in other countries, that should be in mental institutions. We have drug lords being dropped into our country and told never go back to their country. I'm looking to make our country great. I'm looking to bring prices down because, I won on two things, the border and more than immigration. They like to say immigration. I break it down more to the border, but I won on the border and I won on groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries. Like almost, who uses the word? I started using the word, the groceries. When you buy apples, when you buy bacon, when you buy eggs, they would double and triple the price over a short period of time. And I won an election based on that. We're going to bring those prices way down.
I want to pause here because what you're saying is significant. Because you wrote on social in 2023 that you're going to appoint a real special prosecutor to go after Joe Biden. Now you're saying you're not going to do that.
I will say this. No, I'm not doing that unless I find something that I think is reasonable. But that's not going to be my decision. That's going to be Pam Bondi's decision and, to a different extent, Kash Patel. Assuming they're both there, and I think they're both going to get approved. But while you ask me that, what they've done to me with weaponization is a disgrace.
We'll get to some of that.
No, wait, you can't do one without the other. In the history of our country, nothing like this has ever happened. And I've won these cases. I've won every one, and the rest are in the process of being won. Deranged Jack Smith is on his way back to The Hague, where he can execute people. This is where he should have stayed. I think he's dangerous even being there. But I'll tell you what they've done to me in weaponization, indictments, impeachments, and everything else. And in the end, it probably helped me because I got the biggest vote, the most votes any Republican's ever gotten in history.
Pam Bondi talks about investigating the investigators. Do you want her to investigate Jack Smith?
I want her to do what she wants to do.
Do you want to see Jack Smith investigate?
Well, I think he's very corrupt, but I want her to do whatever she has to do.
Are you going to direct her to prosecute Jack Smith?
She's a very smart person. She was a great attorney general in Florida. She's very experienced. I want her to do what she wants to do. I'm not going to instruct her to do it now.
Sir, are you going to fire the current FBI director, Christopher Wray, who you appointed?
Well, I can't say I'm thrilled with him. He invaded my home. I'm suing the country over it. He invaded Mar-a-Lago. I'm very unhappy with the things he's done. And crime is at an all-time high. Migrants are pouring into the country that are from prisons and from mental institutions, as we've discussed. I can't say I'm thrilled. I don't want to be Joe Biden and give you that. What I'm going to say is I certainly cannot be happy with him. You take a look at what's happened. And then when I was shot in the ear, he said, "Oh, maybe it was shrapnel." Where's the shrapnel coming from? Is it coming from heaven? I don't think so. So we need somebody to straighten. I have a lot of respect for the FBI, but the FBI's respect has gone way down over the last number of years.
Don't you have to fire him in order to make room for Kash Patel if he is in fact confirmed?
Well, I mean, it would sort of seem pretty obvious that if Kash gets in, he's going to be taking somebody's place, right? And somebody is the man that you're talking about.
Okay, let's talk about Project 2025. This is the conservative policy blueprint. You disavowed it during the campaign. You called it a product of the radical right. You've said some of their ideas were abysmal.
I said some of it is. Some of it is very good. Some of it's very mainstream, actually. Frankly, the Democrats should have used some of it because they went, with all the transgender that they were doing or with the men playing in women's sports. Well, if they wouldn't have done that, maybe they would have done better.
Well, so you take me to my question. You're now giving people involved in Project 2025 prominent roles in your administration. Are you changing your mind about Project 2025? Is this now the policy blueprint for the second Trump administration?
Some people, if you take a look at the group, it was hundreds of people were involved. And I was actually, I reprimanded the whole group. I said, you shouldn't have placed this document in front of the voters because I have nothing to do with it and I'm the one that's running. You had no right to do this where you put a 1,000-page document in front. And many of those things I disagree with. Now, many of those things I happen to agree with. Many of those things Democrats should have agreed to. And I think they would have done much better in the election because they got slaughtered.
Well, I guess people see the list: Russ Vought, Brendan Carr, Peter Navarro, John Ratcliffe, Pete Hoekstra, Monica Crowley. And they think these are all the people who were involved in or writing Project 2025. This must be a blueprint for work requirements, eliminating the Head Start program, criminalizing pornography. Is that what we can expect to see?
I don't know how they voted. I don't know. I never spoke to them actually about it. And I purposely, and I told you, normally it would be just the opposite. I'd review every page. I purposely didn't even want to see it because when somebody like you asked me a question about Project 2025, I can honestly say I've never seen it. I have nothing to do with it. I didn't read it, but I did hear some things in there that I would totally disagree with. And I said to the people that were really the people behind it, you know who those people are? I said, you really had no right doing this to me because they used it as a soundbite, the Democrats. And I don't know, it couldn't have been too effective because they got slaughtered, but they did use it as a soundbite.
But to people who see, oh, he's bringing in all of these people from Project 2025, he must know what it is.
Well, you know what? I don't know what it is. No, I don't know what it is.
You still don't know
but
what
I heard certain things that I didn't like. And by the way, I heard certain things that are phenomenal.
Okay? Like what?
Like law and order. We want law and order. Okay? Little things like let's put prisoners in jail. Let's not let people come out and raid every drugstore in Manhattan so that we have to put glass up and every store is going out of business.
Let me ask you about something you've referenced a couple of times in this interview. I asked you last time we sat down for an interview if you were going to pardon yourself. You said no. But now that President Biden has pardoned his son, Hunter, are you reconsidering? Might you pardon yourself?
Stop researching with ChatGPT.
Shit, he might as well. The fuck?
Its information is not reliable, and you
Might as
can't
well.
use it without proper.
I didn't do anything wrong. I was given the option. And the lawyers told me, a very specific lawyer, I don't have to go into who, but very high up in the administration said, sir, if you pardon yourself, you're going to look guilty. And you did nothing wrong. Oh, I had that option. I could have saved myself a lot of legal fees. Found out that I was right. Look at what's gone on. Everything's being dropped. I still have a Fonnie Willis, a total hoax. That's a total hoax. It's all being dropped. It's all been discredited. It's been dropped. There are those people that say, and this would be the first time in history,
Hey, yo,
that
this
all of those fake.
yo, this the crazy thing, right? Yo, they did cheat in the election, yo. like yo, that's the yo. If people remember that election, right? Yo, Trump was tearing him up. I woke up the next morning, he lost. How the fuck did he lose? Like he was ripping him into pieces. Then you wake up the next morning, he lost. Like, yo, they did steal the election, yo. Now, can you prove it? Probably not. You know, that's why he in trouble, you know, because he knew they stole it. Yo, that's what the whole pandemic was about. The whole pandemic was about stealing the election, yo. Y'all didn't notice that? Y'all mean to tell me, yo, people didn't notice that. People didn't peep that that's what that was about. I can't be the only one. The whole sit down was to sit people in the house, scare them into coming outside, make them do mail-in ballots so we can steal the election. Y'all didn't notice that? Okay.
I mean, they were going after a political opponent. There are those that say that I actually did better in the election because of it. Now, that would be a first. I think you would agree, because normally that's like you go back to the microphones, you say, I'm leaving right now. I will leave office. I'm going back to my family and I will fight for my name. Well, I had to fight for my name in public.
I don't know, LeVar. They all do that.
But no, I didn't want to pardon, and I didn't want to pardon myself. I had the option to pardon myself.
And you don't want one now? You're not going to pardon yourself now?
No, you don't want to put you don't want to.
The cases.
What if
They all did it. You know, when him and Kamala both didn't answer none of the questions. Like, you don't want to put yourself in a motherfucking box. So now you guys stand on it, you know, because things change. I guess, you know, you had to ask him why.
The ones that I didn't win are on resuscitation.
What if President Biden offered you a pardon? Would you accept it?
I've never even thought about it. I don't think he'll do it. Look, if he did, he's the one that started this whole thing. He got the Justice Department to go after me. And the state cases are all being run by the Justice Department, which is illegal. They had their people from the Justice Department work for Alvin Bragg in order to get something going. They worked for Letitia James.
Exactly.
He had his people.
Exactly. I mean, where the fuck did all those votes come from? How did Trump get the most votes ever? Him and Biden. They both got the most votes ever, and he still lost. Like, come on now, man. Like, it was obvious, yo. Yo, they really did that, yo. When he was saying it was a witch hunt, it really was, man, because they really did that. They did it. They kept everybody in the house and stole the election. Criminal. Can you prove it? No. But if you use common sense, just think about when it all happened. All of that, yo, that was a wild time in the world, man. That was a wild time in the world. You had the George Floyd play. George Floyd was a play. Nobody wants to admit that. You had, remember when I told y'all, That's why I'm telling y'all, like, yo, we ready to see them riots again. We didn't see them for 4 years. Yo, all of that was a part of the play. All of that was a part of the election stealing process. All of it. The riots, the looting, George Floyd, all of that was a part of stealing the election, yo. Like, yo, people couldn't see that. Even looking back at it now, people can't see that. Like, oh, come on, man. See, the problem is, yo, the media done turned everybody against this man for whatever reason. Yo, but at some point, yo, you just gotta go with what you know, yo. Like, common sense overrides everything.
From the federal government and take lesser jobs in the state in order to get done.
And you know he denies he had anything to do with it.
No,
and
you can't deny it. You know why?
Yeah.
Because they were there. Wait a minute. Wait. You know, you have a tendency to sort of like slough
Yeah,
over
let
things.
They took over the whole city. And yo, they took over. Yo, this is when I started. See, yo, I remember all this because this is when I started speaking out. Yo, they took over the whole city of Minnesota. They took over a whole police station. Whole police station. And they did it under Black Lives Matter. Yo, Minnesota has a very small black population. So you got all these cities. They got a large percentage of black people. All these cities. And they riding in Minnesota. They riding. What was the other one? It was another one that was predominant that don't have a lot of black. Like, yo, come on. If it's gonna be a Black Lives Matter protest and they take over a police station, that shit gonna be in New Orleans. That shit gonna be in Baltimore. That shit gonna be in Detroit. It's gonna be in a city that's predominantly black, not Minnesota. That's 5% black. Like, yo, ain't none of that shit makes sense, man. No, it wasn't Michigan. It wasn't Michigan. It was Minnesota, and it was another one. It was another one that had had a small black population.
The top, maybe the third or second or third person, left the federal government, the DOJ, and went to work for Letitia James. And then, after they got that one started, went to work for the DA.
Let me ask you about some of this new reporting. NBC News is reporting that President Biden is considering giving preemptive pardons to the likes of Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and Anthony Fauci. If President Biden doesn't issue those pardons, do you think they are going to wish that he had? Are they going to be pursued?
I can tell you this about Cheney, and she's a so-called Republican. I think she hurt the Democrats terribly. When I saw that Kamala put Cheney out of the campaign trail, I said, that's the end of Kamala. I really did. I thought it was a terrible move, especially if you're a Democrat. But Cheney did something that's inexcusable, along with Thompson and the people on the Unselect Committee of political thugs and, creeps. So the Unselect Committee went through a year and a half of testimony. Wait. They deleted and destroyed all evidence of that they found. You know why? Because Nancy Pelosi was guilty. Nancy Pelosi turned down 10,000 troops. You wouldn't have had a J6.
Yo, hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, y'all. Remember, yo, we go live every day at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. We go live every day, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel. If you want to support the platform, the Cash App at the bottom, we rock.
Secret Service agents in a car. I grabbed one around the neck. I was then rebuffed, and I grabbed the other one. These are two of the toughest men anywhere on the planet. They happen to be slightly younger than me, maybe, just a little bit. Let me just tell you. They testified. They said it was total.
Eve Online on Mac immerses you in a universe with thousands.
And all of this stuff came out. People lied so badly. Now, listen. This was a committee. A big deal. They lied. And what did they do? They deleted and destroyed a whole and a half worth of testimony. Do you know that I think those people committed a major crime.
Sir?
And Cheney was behind it. And so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee. For what they did, honestly, they should go to jail.
So you think Liz Cheney should go to jail?
For what
everyone on the committee, you think
I think everybody anybody that voted in favor.
Are you going to direct your FBI director and your attorney general to send them to jail?
Not at all. I think that they'll have to look at that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to focus on drill, baby, drill.
When you say that,
And
it carries
strengthen
weight, though. You know, you've tapped these people to lead the Justice Department and FBI.
They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
Biden can give him a pardon if he wants to, and maybe he should. Just remember, unselect committee, a year and a half of sworn testimony, and after getting all of the testimony, they deleted it. Wait. And they destroyed almost everything. There's nothing left.
That's illegal.
It's unprecedented.
And they denied
if you do that in a civil case, you go to jail.
You know they deny doing that. And officials say that the order never came in for the National Guard. But on January 6th, about January 6th, I think you're going to want to answer
wrote
this.
in a statement that he has destroyed all evidence.
Let me ask you this about January 6th.
I wish you could be you have such potential. If you could be just non-biased, you hurt yourself so badly. I'm telling you, they deleted and destroyed all the evidence. Everyone knows it. And you slough it off like it doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm just saying they deny it. That's all I'm saying.
Kristen, if I did it, you would be standing up in that chair shouting at me. And you know what I'd do? I'd say, you got me. They have done something so illegal. They have a committee sworn to, and because it was so bad, the only reason they did it is because the testimony turned out to be in favor of me. Like Secret Service testified and disputed everything. It made them into a bunch of liars. Not Secret Service, it made the people. They got rid of it because it made Nancy Pelosi, the mayor of D.C., so many people look like criminals. And I will tell you, it's illegal for them to delete.
Yo, what the fuck is they talking about? We might
ask you about January 6th.
Might gotta look into that. I don't even know what they talking about. Might gotta look into that tomorrow or something. Else, see what the fuck going on.
In a different capacity, okay? I think you're going to want to answer this question. You promised to pardon those who had attacked the Capitol on January 6th. Are you still vowing to follow through with that promise?
We're looking at it right now, most likely, yeah.
Well,
those people have suffered long and hard, and there may be some exceptions to it. I have to look. But, if somebody was radical, crazy, there might be some people from Antifa there. I don't know, because those people seem to be in good shape. Whatever happened to Scaffold Man? You know who Scaffold Man was? He stood on a scaffold telling everybody to go and nothing happened to him. Whatever happened to Ray Epps? Now, I don't know anything about Ray Epps, but it was sort of strange the way he was talking.
I do know about this. This guy was supposed to be an FBI agent that orchestrated, that told everybody, well, not told everybody, but opened the door for those guys to storm the Capitol building. And he did not get in trouble. All these other people got in trouble. He just kind of like disappeared into the fucking wind. And there's video of him. There's video footage of him saying this shit.
Because the people that did very little, they arrested an old woman because I don't think she did anything. They don't even know what she did. These people have suffered. Their lives have been destroyed. And yet in Portland, where they burn down half the city, they burn it down all the time. It's
Portland.
like a routine occurrence.
That was the city.
They don't do
Portland.
anything. They attacked the courthouse, federal courthouse.
Portland.
They always say federal building. Okay.
It was Minnesota and it was
They
Portland.
destroyed the beautiful limestone exterior of the courthouse in Portland. They killed people in Portland. Seattle, people got killed in Seattle. They took over a big chunk of the city. They took it over. They took the city away. Minneapolis.
Look,
it looked like when they said this is
look,
a friend.
None of them cities, that's what I was just talking about, y'all. None of them cities have a large black population. So how was they doing all this rioting and protesting on behalf of Black Lives Matter? Where it's not even black people there. Like, that's when I started realizing, like, yo, hold up, y'all. This that we watching, y'all, I don't think it's what they saying it is. Like, I think this shit a little bit different. Because I ain't never seen nothing like that before. Like, you got all these cities, yo, like, it's some predominantly black cities. A lot of them, predominantly black. And they go to some of the cities that's got the smallest black population. And they hold the police force hostage. Well, not the police force, but they held police precincts hostage. And they said they was doing it for Black Lives Matter, for black people, for the police brutality. That shit was a fucking lie, man. It was a lie. One of the biggest lies told. For real, all lies. One of the biggest lies ever told during that time, yo.
Leave protest, and yet over the poor slob from CNN, his shoulder, the entire city was burning down. It looked like World War II. Nothing happened. But wait, nothing happened. They took over the police station. They took over the police station in Minneapolis. They burned it down. Nothing happened to anybody. And yet these people have been in jail.
And look, in Minnesota, guess who was the governor of Minnesota at that time? Vice President Pitt. Y'all don't think that's strange? Y'all think that happened by mistake? He let all that shit go on in Minnesota. And guess who was her pick for vice president if she was to get elected? The guy that was the governor when all that shit was going down. Come on now,
I
y'all.
hear the jail is a hellhole. They've done reports, and you would say that's true. They've done reports. This is the most disgusting, filthy place. These people are living in hell.
Let me just.
And I think it's very unfair.
But
Most likely, I'll do it very quickly.
Very quickly. Okay, but some of them, 169 of them, have pleaded guilty to assaulting police officers.
Because they had no choice.
900 pleaded guilty to other crimes. They're also going to be eligible for a pardon from you?
How many lock up?
Advil liquid gels.
I didn't know they locked up that many people. They locked up over 1,000 people for that shit.
Also from Advil. Advil targeted relief. The only.
I didn't know they locked up that many people for that January 6th shit.
Tough system. Do you know almost nobody? I saw people that didn't even go into the building and they were convicted. And you had the police saying, come on in, come on in. I mean, you know, the police are saying, come on in, everybody, come on in. They had people, you know, you have a lot of cameras. They don't want to release the tapes. They don't want to release the tapes.
So, but you're going to consider pardoning even those who pleaded guilty to crimes, including assaulting police officers?
Well, sometimes they say, here's your choice.
You're not ruling it out.
Look, I know the system. The system's a very corrupt system. They say to a guy, you're going to go to jail for 2 years or for 30 years. And these guys are looking, their whole lives have been destroyed. For 2 years, they've been destroyed. But the system is a very nasty system.
It is.
Okay.
It's a very dirty
Yeah,
system,
I want to
too.
look at everything. We're going to look at individual cases.
It's a very dirty system.
But I'm going to be
We talk about it all the time.
acting very quickly.
Within your first 100 days, first day?
First day.
First day.
Yeah, I'm looking
You can
first
issue
day.
these pardons.
These people have been there, how long is it? 3 or 4 years?
Okay.
You know, by the way, they've been in there for years. And they're in a filthy, disgusting place that shouldn't even be allowed to be open.
Let's talk about your cabinet picks. I know we started off talking about Pete Hegseth, but I just want to return to that very quickly. Have you gotten assurances from senators that he's going to be confirmed? Do you think he can make it?
No, I think you will, yeah. I've had a lot of senators call me up saying he's fantastic.
You don't drink yourself.
No.
You've talked about how devastating drinking can be.
No.
How concerned are you that the person who you picked for this top job at the Defense Department, at least according to those who've worked with him, has struggled with drinking?
But I've spoken to people that know him very well, and they say he does not have a drinking problem. And, you know, he had a lot of knives out for him. A lot of people don't want to see the military made better.
Let me ask you about former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. You picked her to be the Director of National Intelligence.
Right.
In 2017, she had 2 secret meetings with Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad. Do you have questions or concerns about those meetings?
No. Problems right now.
Well, do you think it
Because
makes
his
it hard for her?
His country is
Yeah,
collapsing.
I mean, do you think it compromises her ability to handle that?
Putin. I met with President Xi of China. I met with Kim Jong-un twice. Does that
When
mean
you
that
were
I can't be
president?
president?
Well, when you were president, they weren't
I know,
secret
but look,
meetings.
people meet. All these people meet. I mean, I see some of the most dishonest people. I'll tell you, the 51 agents that said that the laptop wasn't from Hunter, it was from Russia. What about them? Tell me about them. Do you think they did something wrong? Do you think they were all so stupid that they thought that the laptop from hell?
So you have confidence in Tulsi Gabbard?
I do. So, I mean, she's a very respected person.
Let me ask you about RFK Jr. He has obviously talked about his skepticism of vaccines. He's expressed opposition to childhood vaccines. Do you want to see childhood vaccines eliminated?
If they're dangerous for the children. Look.
So possibly?
When you look at some of the problems, when you look at...
I fight that shit. Yo, after that last... The shit that they tried to force on people... Yo, I don't let my kids get that shit. Like, not, you know, I let it that first round, like when they babies, but once they get older, man, I be like, man, because my religious beliefs, yo, we ain't fucking with that shit. Because I don't trust it no more, yo. After they tried to force that shit on everybody like that, and people was, man, I don't trust that shit.
Going on with disease and sickness in our country, something's wrong.
Are you talking about autism?
I don't blame you, Jared.
Well, if you take a look at autism, you go back 25 years, autism was almost non-existent. It was, 1 out of 100,000. And now it's close to 1 out of 100.
That's a fact.
Well,
I mean, what's happening? If they can find it. Now, I did something the other night that was a little unusual. At Mar-a-Lago, I called the drug companies, the top companies, and I called RFK Jr. and Dr. Oz and some of his people. And I said, let's all get together and let's figure out where we're going. Because we're going to do a lot of things. Number one, we're going to reduce prices because the middleman makes more money than the drug companies, in all fairness to the drug companies. There's a middleman that nobody even knows who they are. And you look at our drug prices, they're much higher than the prices for the same medicine, for the same stuff. So we met, and we met for a long time, and we talked about pricing, and we talked about vaccines, in terms of what happens. We talked about pesticides. We talked about everything. And I think a lot of good things are going to come from him. And he's not going to upset any system. He's not going to upset this. He's not looking to, to reinvent the wheel totally. But when you look at the numbers, we really don't have a very healthy country.
Well, sir, going back 25 years, studies show that there is no link between vaccines and autism. And yet it sounds like you are open to the possibility.
Yeah, what studies show that? I always thought that the studies I seen and read said that it was. So what the fuck studies she talk about? Or what studies she read? Because I didn't seen shit in writings that said it was.
Of him looking
I'm open to
getting rid of them?
I think somebody has to find out. If you go back 25 years ago, you had very little autism. Now you have it. I mean...
Well, they say because they're better at identifying it.
Hell no. Get the fuck out of here.
1 in 100,000, and now it's 1 in 100. That's a pretty bad number.
Childhood vaccines.
I mean, something is going on. I don't know if it's vaccines. Maybe it's chlorine in the water, right? People are looking at
maybe it's fluoride in the
toothpaste.
toothpaste.
Childhood vaccines.
I want them to look at everything.
Everything. So childhood vaccines have prevented about 4 million deaths around the world every year.
I think that's great.
How can you prove that?
I think it's great. Hey, look, I'm not
How
against
can you
vaccines.
prove that?
The polio vaccine is the greatest thing. If somebody told me get rid of the polio vaccine, they're going to have to work real hard to convince me. I think
it could be all the fake food.
Certain vaccines are incredible. But maybe some aren't. And if they aren't, we have to find out. But when you talk about autism, because it was brought up, and you look at the amount we have today versus 20 or 25 years ago, it's pretty scary.
Well, again, scientists say that's because they've gotten better at identifying it, and there's no link in studies.
The drug companies are going to be working
I just read that they ready to stop putting food coloring in food. I just read that earlier. How many people saying that? The United States is ready to stop putting food coloring in food.
He's been an interesting guy to me. I've watched him for 25 years, and he's been an interesting guy.
Let's talk about Elon Musk, another interesting person.
He's very interesting.
Last month, one of your allies said, quote, he's behaving as if he's a co-president.
Imagine the possibilities of sharing your life with a lovely young Asian lady. You could forget about what it feels like.
Will you favor Elon Musk over other leaders of competitor companies like Jeff Bezos, Mary Barra?
No, Jeff Bezos called me. We're having dinner. As you know, Mark Zuckerberg came in. We had a really nice dinner. He asked to have dinner. I had dinner with him. I'm having dinner with everybody. People like me now. It's something going on. I said, would you have come to dinner with me if I lost? I think the answer is no. I said nicely, kiddingly, of course, because I don't want to sound foolish. But I say jokingly, would you have been here at dinner if I lost? And the answer was probably not. Look, I'm getting called by everybody. It's very interesting. It's different than the first. You know, when I won the first time, I wasn't nearly as popular as this. And one thing that's very important in terms of the election, I love that I won the popular vote, and by a lot. If I did, because they would
look,
go
1.6%. He's funny as shit.
Well, he didn't win the popular vote. He won a lot of, I won a lot of the electoral college, but they would always preface it by saying, now they say he won the popular vote and he won the electoral college and he won all 7 swing states.
Oh, night bye back, y'all.
Very quickly, because we're going to talk about the election coming up, but you've tapped Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, to head up this Department of Government Efficiency.
Correct.
Which proposes cuts to the federal government. I think a lot of people hear that and they get concerned about Medicare and Social Security and
Not
Medicaid
going to have anything to do.
and defense spending.
We're talking
You
about
won't touch
theft,
Medicare, Social Security.
abuse, fraud. No, I said to people, we're not touching Social Security, other than we make it more efficient, but the people are going to get what they're getting.
Okay, so the entitlements
And
off
we're not
the table.
raising ages or any of that stuff.
Okay,
No,
off the
I
table.
won't do it.
Okay, let's turn to foreign policy. Should Ukraine prepare for less aid from the United States after
Yes.
you're sworn
Possibly.
into office?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes,
Sure.
they should.
You've said you can end the war in
We're in for
24
350 billion. And
300
Europe is in for 100 billion.
Yo,
Why?
350 billion, yo? Yo, we gave them 350 fucking $billion. Wow. Goodness gracious.
Isn't Europe in for the same as us? The one thing that should happen is that Europe should come in they should equalize. And, Biden, all he had to do, like I did with NATO, I said, you got to pay your bills. They weren't paying their bills. And as you know, the Secretary General said,
Being sold
President
out,
Trump
Jared.
got
That's what it feels like. It feels like you being sold out.
640 to be exact. And I used to use the 400 billion number. He corrected me. He said, no, you actually got $641 billion put in because I said you have to pay your bills. We were paying for NATO. And you know why I got the money? Because I asked for it. It wasn't that complicated. Europe is in for a fraction. And war with Russia is more important for Europe than it is for us. It's important for everybody, but it's more important for Europe than it is for us.
And you've said
we have a little thing called an ocean in between us.
You said you can end the war in 24 hours. You've even said you want to try to end it before you're sworn
Well, I'm
into
trying
office.
to.
Before
I'm trying to end it
You're
if I
actively
can.
trying to?
I am.
Have you talked to President Putin?
No, I have not.
President Putin
No, I have
since
not.
you've been
You
elected?
mean, well, I don't want to say that, but I haven't spoken to him recently.
So you've spoken to President Putin since you've
I
been
don't want to
elected?
say that. I don't want to say anything about that because I don't want to do anything that could impede the negotiation.
But you
I want to
have
stop.
talked about
Let me
the
tell you
other
what I have
world
talked
leaders.
about. Let me tell
Okay.
you. There are people being killed in that war at levels that nobody's ever seen before. You have to go back to the World War, and even that, if you take a look at, you know what it is? It's the soldiers largely. The cities have been emptied out and demolished. The country has been demolished. If I won that election, which you know how I feel about it, I won't get into it because we don't need to start that argument. I think it's an easy argument. It was really proven even more conclusively by the win that I had on this one. But
you did
had
win,
I,
sir. You
well,
did.
that's your opinion,
Yeah,
but I
okay.
disagree with it. Had I assumed
He definitely won the
control.
election.
Hey, sorry for interrupting. Isn't that annoying?
Definitely won the election. Yo, don't forget to support the platform, y'all. I'm out this bitch tired as a motherfucker, but we rocking though.
But number two, Ukraine.
Cash App
never
at the
happened.
bottom
It
of the
would never
screen. Baltimore swag. Suit my man Elwood for posting it.
happen, Ukraine, Russia. But the number of people that are being killed, soldiers, young, beautiful soldiers, hundreds of thousands of people are being killed. And it's very interesting. It's level, totally level. The battlefiel's totally level. You know what's happening? The only thing that stops a bullet, you know what it is a body, a human body. And the people that are being killed.
Yeah, I need it. You say it's
Hundreds
free?
of
I'm gonna
thousands
look into
on both
that.
sides. Russia's lost probably 500,000. Ukraine's lost higher than they say, probably 400,000. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of bodies laying all over fields. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and it should have never been allowed to happen. Biden should have been able to stop it.
Sir,
Biden
will the
can't
United
stop
States
shit.
stay in NATO while you're in office?
Yeah, Biden ain't been able to stop
NATO.
shit since he
Do
been
you
in
commit
office.
that the United States will remain a member of NATO while you're in office?
Again, they have to pay their bills. If they pay their bills, absolutely.
But not if they don't pay their bills.
But NATO's taken advantage of us because we were look, two things. Number one, they take advantage of us on trade, meaning the European nations, okay, like terrible. They don't take our cars, they don't take our food product, they don't take anything. They think it's a disgrace. And on top of that, we defend them. So it's a double whammy. So let me just tell you, I was able to get hundreds of billions of dollars put into NATO just by a tough attitude. I said to the countries, I'm not going to protect you unless you pay. And they started paying. And that amounted to more than $600 billion. That's a big thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be fighting. They wouldn't have any money to fight.
I think they stopped the BRICS thing. Russia said they're not going through with BRICS.
They're doing they're treating us fairly. The answer is absolutely, I'd stay with NATO.
But if not, you would consider the possibility of getting it.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Let's turn to the Middle East now, sir. There are still American hostages being held in Gaza.
Yeah.
You said this week that if the hostages aren't released before
Yeah,
inauguration
I read
day,
that
quote,
somewhere.
there will be all hell to pay.
I read somewhere that they not going. They stopping that brick shit. They not doing that shit no more.
Correct.
What exactly did you mean? And do you still think that the hostages are alive?
I'm not a big believer in the fact that there are too many of them living, sadly, because I've seen the way they've been treated. I talk about the young girl that was pulled by her hair violently and thrown into the back of a car like she was a sack of potatoes. And I said, that's hatred. And then I said, how did that young girl do? Beautiful young girl just dragged by her hair. You remember, blood pouring all over her body. You can imagine the parents thrown into the back of a car by some horrible guy. And I said, how is she? She's dead. She died, sir.
Dang.
I don't think you have as many. I mean, I hate to say it. I think you have far fewer hostages than people think.
Really?
That's what I think it's opinion, but okay. I've been right on just about everything.
Are you going to pressure Prime Minister Netanyahu, with whom you have a very good relationship, to end the war in Gaza?
Yeah, sure.
And have you already started that process?
I want him to end it, but you gotta have a victory. People forget about October 7th. That was as violent, and you know what's happening? I noticed that a lot of people are saying, oh, it never really happened. That's like you have Holocaust deniers. Now you have October 7th deniers, and it just happened. No, October 7th happened. And I've seen the pictures. What happened is horrible.
If China invades Taiwan on your watch, are you committed to defending Taiwan?
I never say.
Still won't say.
Let me tell y'all something, right?
Because
let me tell y'all what my brother told me. My brother in the forces, and he's saying currently that America is gearing up for a war with China. Like this is facts. Now things can change, but he's saying 2027. 2027, America is gearing up to go to war with China, man. Keep that between us, man. Now, like I said, things can change, but if China invade Taiwan, it's supposed to be 2027. It's going down. And he ain't just going to tell me this. Like, it's my blood brother. He said he already wearing the patches on their uniforms. What's up, G, man?
I have to negotiate things, right?
Can you just say if you'll defend it? I'm not saying if the U.S. military.
I'd prefer that they don't do it. I have a very good relationship with President Xi. We have been communicating with each other.
Since you were elected?
Yes.
And you sent that message?
Since like 3 days ago. Yes, we communicate.
And you sent that message to him, don't invade Taiwan?
We didn't talk about that. Okay. We talked about other things. But I have a very good relationship, and I hope he doesn't do it.
This week, a federal court upheld a law that could result
so you
in
already
TikTok
you already know
being
what I'm
banned.
saying.
You
Facts.
said you're going to rescue TikTok when you get into office. Are you going to take steps to protect it?
Yeah, and as you know, I used TikTok very successfully in my campaign. I have a man named TikTok Jack. He was very effective, obviously, because I won youth by 30%. All Republicans lose youth. I don't know why. Maybe it's changing. And last time we were down 30% with youth. This time we're up 35% with youth. And I use TikTok, so I can't really, I can't totally hate it. It was very effective. But I will say this, if you do that, something else is going to come along and take its place. And maybe that's not fair. What they're doing, and really what the judge actually said was that you can't have Chinese companies. In other words, they have the right to ban it if you can prove that the Chinese companies own it. That's what the judge asked.
So are you going to try to protect TikTok just very quick once you're in office?
I'm going to try and make it so that other companies don't become an even bigger monopoly.
Okay.
Because that's what happens.
We're winding down, and I know you have a plane to catch.
I do.
This is your first interview since you won the election.
Congratulations.
Yes,
I hope
congratulations to you.
I hope you do well with it.
Yes.
I appreciate it. We had 100,
sir,
we had
I don't have to
100
tell you
likes,
this, you talked
y'all.
about it. It comes at a time when the country is deeply divided. And now you're going to be leading this country for the next 4 years. For the sake of unifying this country, will you concede the 2020 election and turn the page on that chapter?
No. Why the fuck would he? Why the fuck would he? No. I wouldn't. He was robbed. Like, yo, he know this man, his man know he was robbed, man. Let me go back to that.
Turn the page on that chapter.
No, why would I do that? But let me just tell you, when you say the country is deeply divided, I'm the president. Joe Biden's the president.
But you're going to be the president.
No. I'm not the president. So when you say it's deeply divided, I agree. But Biden's the president, I'm not. And he has been a divider. And you know where he divided it more than anything else, and it probably backfired on him, I think definitely, is weaponization. When he weaponized the Justice Department and he went after his political opponent, me. He went after his political opponent because he knew he couldn't beat him. And I think it really was a bad thing. And it really divided our country.
Sir, Democrats have control of the White House now. They didn't in 2020. If they're going around stealing elections, why
when you say Democrats have control now
of the White House?
Yeah.
So why didn't they steal this election? Since they have more power now.
Because I think it was too big to rig.
So you won't.
Because they didn't steal this one, yo, because they wasn't able to come up with another plot. You can't run the pandemic back again. Not this soon. You might do it 100 years from now, but you can't run that play again. Yo, that was the serious play, y'all. That probably was the biggest play ever ran in the United States. You can't run that again. Now he can't say that. You feel me? Because now you're going, oh, he said that. You know how this shit works. If he was to say what I just said, he'd be crucified on mainstream media. But it's the facts. It's the facts. It was obvious.
Big to rig.
To the people who say that you're now directing your Justice Department to investigate 2020, and they want to move on.
I am very capable. I think Pam is going to be great.
Precious resources.
By the way,
is that what you
just
want
so
them to do?
Just so you know, I have the right to do that, but I'm not interested in that.
Oh, you're not. You're not going to do that.
I'm not interested. I have the absolute right. I'm the chief law enforcement officer. You do know that. I'm the president. But I'm not interested in that. You know what I'm interested in? Drilling and getting prices down and stopping people from pouring into our border that come from prisons and mental institutions.
Last two questions here. One of the things that made this campaign unprecedented and extraordinary were the horrific attempts against your life. 2 assassination attempts. Do you feel safe going into the White House for the next 4 years? Why?
I have confidence in Secret Service. I know the people. I got to know a lot of them, and I have confidence. It was a bad moment. Something shouldn't have happened. But I have a lot of confidence, and they've really stepped it up. They were restricted from giving look, I do a rally, and you were at many of them, and I'd have 50,000 people. Joe would have a rally, and he'd have 30 people. And he had more Secret Service than me. My Secret Service was always asking for more manpower / women power. They were asking for more and more and more, and they couldn't get it. I'm not blaming them, really, because they were always fighting for more people, and they wouldn't get. Now, boy, do we have it.
I know it was hard on your entire family. What can people expect from the First Lady in this second administration? What role will she play? She obviously had her Be Best campaign.
She's very liked, loved, and she's very respected. And she's a very solid person. And she devotes a lot of time to helping children. You know what she does. And she's got her Be Best a deal that is incredible what she's done.
She's not standing in the White House.
One thing I said, whether it's First Lady or my children did such a good job. and they were treated very badly by the press and others. Ivanka was unbelievable what she did, and she all she wanted to do is one thing: get people jobs. She could have been the UN secretary. I said to her, she would have been unbelievable. She's got the whole package for that, including right up there. She's as smart as they. She didn't want. She said, "Daddy, I want to work on getting people jobs." You know, she'd go to Walmart. She'd go to X such a. She produced millions of jobs for people. Not glamorous. Most people didn't know she did it, and she was always being excoriated. And I said to my kids, "Don't come in. Don't come in." It's just
you said to them, don't
I said to them, yeah.
But will you miss having them there? Will it feel different? They were your top advisors.
I'll tell you what, I'll miss them, and they're really competent. But I say, just go have fun, do your business, do whatever you want to do, but don't come in, because no matter what they did such a great job. Although I have to say, Lara did a phenomenal job as the head of the Republican National Committee, along with Michael.
What will the First Lady's role be, do you think? Will she continue her Be Best campaign?
She's a very elegant First Lady. She was a very successful woman before that in the modeling and other things, but in the modeling, very successful. The press, I can't say treated her unfairly. You know why? Because she's very popular. You would think if the press was unfair, like to me, the press was obviously unfair to me. The press, no president has gotten treated by the press like I was. And yet I got more votes than any Republican candidate in history. By far, it's not even close. So you say, what's that all about? The press has to straighten itself out, because honestly, it's lost all credibility. When that can happen, based on the press, I should have gotten no votes, none. And yet I got the highest number ever. And the reason is because I'm able to go on a show, even like yours, even though you're very hostile, I'm able to go on a show like yours. No, you are.
Well, hopefully you thought it was a fair interview. We covered a lot of policy ground.
It's fair only in that you allowed me
Go to the beginning of the video,
say, but you know, the answers, the questions are.
We've been live for 3 hours, bro.
But look, because I've seen
Can't
you
talk about
interview
Jay-Z for 3 hours.
other people like Biden, and
I've never interviewed President Biden.
when I say you, I'm talking metaphorically. I've seen George
definitely a
Stephanopoulos
character.
interview Biden, and he's a tough interviewer. It's the softest interview. I've seen CNN interview him. They give these soft, you know, what's your favorite ice cream? It's a whole different deal. I don't understand why. You know, you would think the press would like to see strong borders, great education, powerful military, so we have a country left, and all these different things. And somehow they don't want to see that.
Let me ask you, hopefully you think this interview was fair. We spent a lot of time talking about your policy and your second administration. I want to ask you, sir, one final question. What do you want to say to Americans who didn't support you in this campaign?
Yeah, they do.
Everybody be asking me, man, does the Bluetooth actually work?
They do come with their own questions. Questions be softballs, a motherfucker.
I'm going to treat you every bit as well as I have treated the greatest MAGA supporters. There's never been anything like MAGA in the history of this country. These people are so dedicated to making America great again. It's very simple. And I'm going to treat them just the same as I treat MAGA. We're going to treat everybody good. We want success for our country. We want safety for our country. You know, our country's under threat, as you know. We have a tremendous threat militarily because of the power of weapons and weaponry. It's a tremendous threat. Nobody talks about it, but it's a tremendous threat. I want to treat everybody the same. I want to treat them well. And this 4 years, and I have a big head start because I was there for 4 years fairly recently. A lot of bad things were done during the 4 years that I wasn't
there.
That's
our nephew?
Mostly in what they've done in terms of our reputation overseas. Our reputation is so bad, so shot. I got to bring it back, and I also have to bring back civilization to our country. Our country is a crime pot, and we have to get rid of crime. We have so many things to do. We have to do the prices. We have to do all of that. But we have to get the criminals out of our country. We have to bring down crime. People have to be able to walk across the street and buy a loaf of bread without being shot, and that's going to happen. But what I say to them is, I love you, and we're going to all work together, and we're going to bring it together. And you know what's going to bring it together? Success. I saw that just prior to COVID coming in, I had polls that were the highest anyone. McLaughlin and Fabrizio said George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, if they came back from the dead and they ran as president and vice president, couldn't beat you, sir. We were doing so well. And I was getting along with the left. Let's call it the left. We'll be nice. Okay, we're just going to call it. But I was getting along with people that you would consider liberal or progressive, as they like to say, at levels that I never thought was possible. And you know what it was? Success. Success was bringing the country together, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah, it
We'll
was.
leave it there unless you'd
Man.
like to say anything more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Them for man, stock market was flowing. Money was coming from every angle. Like, to get back to that, yo. Like, we done got so far away from how it was 4 years ago. It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous, yo. Yo, soon as Biden won that election, yo, the stock market went like, phew. You know what I mean? That shit went straight down. Crypto, stock market, gas prices shot up. Like, yo, everything just went to shit, yo. Like, man, fuck that. We gotta get this shit back. For real. But shit, I appreciate everybody that tapped in. Like I said, yo, support the platform. Yo, did anybody support the platform? I'm tired of shit. We rocked out for what, 3 hours? Talked about Jay-Z. Went through that lawsuit. Tony Buzbee on some bullshit. And Jay-Z vows to come after Tony Buzbee for the bullshit he doing. Trying to extort him. We went to some of Diddy frivolous lawsuits that a lot of people probably didn't even know was frivolous because most of the people on media is lying and pushing narratives that we heard from Donald Trump. But I appreciate everybody. Yeah, for real, man. For real. Yeah, straight up one and only. But I appreciate everybody that tapped in. I'm ready to take my ass to bed. Like I say, support the platform. Cash App Baltimore Swag. Hit that like button if you haven't. Share it live if you haven't. It's another day of QBG News. Appreciate it, y'all. And I'm out.